Number 4, Alabama loses to Oklahoma. And number 10, Texas loses to Georgia. Number 3, Texas A&M almost lost. They erased a 27-point deficit to hold on against an unranked South Carolina team. The Bruins picked up a 3-2 win over the Canadiens in Montreal last night. Jeremy Swayman stopped 26 of the 28 shots he faced. With the win, the Bruins now sit in first place in the Atlantic Division. The Celtics, they return to action today after a few days off. They host the Los Angeles Clippers. Coverage starts at 3 o'clock right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today. Winter's coming. Don't get caught in the cold. Book your home heating system health and safety check with Super Service Today. They offer New England's most comprehensive heating system safety check. Schedule now at superservicetoday.com. Super Service Today. I'm Alex Barth on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app. This is Sunday Kickoff with Alex Barth and Cerrone Battle. The show that's all Patriots, all football, all year long. The clutch wins, the tough losses, and the game-changing plays. This is the show that has it all covered. Sunday Kickoff, brought to you in part by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. Now, here are Alex Barth and Cerrone Battle.
All right, welcome in Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Week 11 edition, November 16th. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle, Ryan Garvin behind the glass. Get this. 3 hours. We got a bonus hour of the program today with the Patriots off. Obviously, they played on Thursday night. We'll be taking you up until 11 o'clock. So plenty of time for your calls in this one. 617-779-0985. We're going to go over the Jets game a little bit. We're going to talk about the Bucs game a little bit, too. We haven't been on since that. And we're going to take kind of a bigger picture approach to this show. Kind of look at where the Patriots are, big picture at this point in the season. Ryan Garvin's put together a fun little game for us we'll get to in a little bit. But Cerrone, good morning. How are we doing today?
Good morning, man. How about yourself? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good. It's a good time to be a football fan in New England. I got to tell you, the Patriots are rolling. Some news we'll get to from yesterday, maybe not the best, but Patriots are rolling, and I don't remember the last time. We're going to talk a little bit, quite a bit about this today. I don't remember the last time I was this excited for like a neutral NFL slate. Looking at the games ahead today, it is an awesome, awesome slate of football today. So good day. You know, Patriots already have the win in their pocket. Sit down on the couch, watch some football. It's going to be a fun one to be a football fan today.
Yeah, a stress-free Sunday. I mean, I miss these days. It's been a while. But yeah, there's a lot of games that have major implications in the playoffs and standings and fans, power rankings, and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be a beautiful day of football. Before
we get to that, let's start off with the news from yesterday, and then we'll get to the Jets game as a whole. But Milton Williams on IR with a sprained ankle. A little bit surprising, just given surprised to me, I should say. Look, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I didn't see the evaluation, but wasn't in a boot or on crutches after the game or anything like that. But they are, I think, maybe going to play it safe a little bit with him, which makes some sense. He's going to miss 4 games. So I saw people confused about this. I understand why. Just to kind of, it's 4 games, not 4 weeks. So the bye week doesn't like buy them a free week of IR. He's going to miss the Bengals game, the Giants game, the Bills game, and the Ravens game. That's a major stretch. That's a major stretch. They're going to be tested without him. Now, they have more depth at defensive tackle than probably anywhere else. There's some areas I'm concerned about their depth. Defensive tackle isn't one. Kyrus Tonga's obviously been very good this year. Corey Durden's come on strong. Eric Gregory, first NFL play, gets a run stop. So, you know, long way to go, but we'll see what happens there. Somebody to watch. But there's no way to twist it. I don't know that it all entirely, I don't think it's all going to entirely fall apart without him. And that's no disrespect to him. I just think they have good depth at defensive tackle. Oh, and by the way, I should mention, they also have Christian Barmore, who's a high-level player at that position as well. But it's, you know, other people are going to have to step up. It's not going to look the same. I think in particular the secondary. There's been times the rush has bailed out the secondary this year. You're not going to get that often. That's more where I'm looking for people to step up here in the wake of this injury. Just your reaction to Milton Williams out 4 games with a sprained ankle.
Yeah, I was shocked by it because when he went out of the game, it was like, oh, he's going to come back in the game. And then to the, a couple days later, next day or whatever, you find out he's on IR. And I'm like, man, again, I'm no doctor, but I thought he was going to have a chance to come back in. And then when they put him on IR, I was wondering, are they looking past, I'm going to say past the schedule? Are these guys going into almost like an NBA load management thing? We got to get these guys healthy for the playoffs. We're pretty much a lock to make it. And we're not going to take any chances and rush anybody back. I understand, when you get to Buffalo and Baltimore, teams that really run the ball well is where you're going to really see it. I hope for NFL's sake that Baltimore's still in it by then. But let's just say they're at their best and they're playing, for position. Baltimore could actually probably win the division. But Derrick Henry and Cook, you're going to have to deal. You're going to see the absence of having a guy, Pro Bowl level, probably defensive tackle missing from your lineup. So you're going to really see it in those two games. Cincinnati, I don't think you're going to see it as much, but when you get to Buffalo and Baltimore, he will absolutely be missed there'll be a difference in, how many rushing yards they're allowing. Can Henry and Cook get over 50 yards, all that type of stuff. If they lighten them up early, we're going to remember that, Milton Williams went out of the game and is on IR. So I'm thinking it's more of a precautionary thing and it's not that bad. But you're going to see it in those two games, depending on where everybody's lined up in the standings.
It's tough games for them to miss. And, like you said, it will not, well, maybe not early. If they get run on the first drive, we'll say, well, that's just the first drive, Patriots. If they get run on the second drive, okay, well, now they're missing Milton Williams, right? But, I look at that, and the Bengals is a sneaky tough game to me.
It's a great offense.
The record is what it is. Now, and Joe Burrow could be back for that game. He returned to practice. But Joe Flacco's been tearing it up. Just in case people haven't seen. So 3 weeks ago, 33 points, 470 yards against Steelers. 38 points, 398 yards against the Jets. 42 points, 495 yards against the Bears last week. And then 2 weeks ago, and then they're on the bye last week. Now, that being said, did they also allow 500 yards and 40 points in two of those games? Yes, they did. That game is probably going to be 50-45, whoever wins. But that's a sneaky tough game, too. The way I look at it, you got to win at least one of those three. You have to win at least one of those three. Otherwise, they have the Giants, Jets, and Dolphins. Assuming you win those, you still finish the season 3-3. Now it's kind of like 2021 vibes. Okay, you beat the bad teams down the stretch, but you got exposed by some good teams, especially after the bye. If they win one of those three, I'll feel good, especially given this injury. If they win one of those three, I'll feel good. If they win two of those three, I'll feel amazing. They win all three of those, they're Super Bowl favorite out of the AFC in my mind, because they'll be 15-2 assuming they take care of business, obviously, against the two New York teams and the Dolphins, the lesser teams. If they lose Miami week 18 because everything's locked up and whatever, that wouldn't bother me. But that's kind of where it is, and a big loss, Milton Williams, and we're going to see how they kind of manage it and manage some of that depth at the defensive tackle position. But the good news, if there is good news, I don't want to say it's good news within it. An injury is never good news. I should say the flip side of it. They do have some cushion here because they got off to this tremendous start, 9-2, which is kind of where I wanted to start this show before we got that injury update yesterday. The New England Patriots are 9-2, and I think a lot of people, myself included, said 9 to 10 wins for the season, and they're here before Thanksgiving. I was at the Brook yesterday. Me and Matt McCarthy did a live show there. By the way, great time at the Brook. 9 Dragons. Kowloon-inspired dishes down there. Had a great time there. We talked to Vince Wilfork. You can find the interview on 98.5thesportshub.com, Patriots Hub podcast feed. Talked to him about the Pats. Talked to him about Patriots trying to get in the Hall of Fame. Had to plug that a little bit. Sorry. But we were at the Brook yesterday, and there's people there showing us they're cashing their Patriots over 8.5 win tickets before Thanksgiving. Coming in to cash that ticket. I think you were in the same boat as me, right? You were at about 9-10 wins, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
because the same thing everybody thought, the schedule. But we thought they, take advantage of bad football teams and really struggle. Some of the teams that they struggled with early. We thought the Bills game, the Steelers is one we picked, Buccaneers. We absolutely thought the Bengals and Ravens would be at the top of their division as opposed to where they're at now. And I think we all came away with, like I said, 8-9 wins. Or maybe Some had the high 10 was the high. I think I've heard anybody said, before the season started. Because then I didn't think people thought Miami would be a tougher team than what they've been. So yeah, everybody had them between that 8 and 10 wins, but being at 9 wins this early is remarkable. I can't think of no other word to describe where they're at right now as a football team.
So let me ask you this: go back to September when we're making those picks. What did we miss? What do you think we missed?
Oh, Drake May. I think we thought he'd be good, but I don't think he'd be an MVP candidate. I think that's we thought he would. Everybody thought he would have a jump. Everybody was excited about Drake May. He was a story. Is he going to keep the turnovers down? That type of thing. And the biggest thing I think we missed.
Yeah.
And we underrated, I think, the receiving group. We thought that was going to be the thing to hold back the offense. And come to find out, these guys have been, I wouldn't say on fire, but better than advertised for majority of the season.
So I when you said Drake May, I was going to piggyback and say the receivers and Drake May's probably part of that. But I think you look at, I was high on Stephon Diggs. This has been unbelievable. Kayshon Bouttie's obviously had a great season. Mac Hollins, a lot of people are down on that signing. You want to go back to March. And look, he's not going to win any awards, but he's been a really solid contributing player for them when he stepped up when they've needed him. I'm going to put those two together, though. You know what I think people might have underestimated, or who people might have underestimated? Josh McDaniels. Yeah. I wonder if people underestimated the impact Josh McDaniels was going to have on this program. Because he has this offense humming. And look, Drake May deserves a ton of credit. I don't want to take away from Drake May or the players or anything like that. But Josh McDaniels' fingerprints are all over this thing.
Yeah.
All over this thing. And I think people maybe underrated because of how it went for him in Vegas, the kind of impact that he would have.
And what I would add to that, as you're saying that, we always get on Belichick and his assistants and everybody and how they look without Tom Brady, how things have failed without, it haven't been the same. Even Belichick down in UNC, we always go back to that. Josh McDaniels, this Patriots team finishes near the top in offense at the end of the season with the crazy record, which they probably will. He might be the first one that have major success without Tom Brady. And it's not the first. If you go back and look at his time with Mac Jones and look at what he's doing with Drake May, he's the one that you say, you know what? He has it. He has the thing when it comes to offense. As a head coach, we all know his flaws. But as an offensive coordinator, he's right back up there being one of the best in football. With the roster they have, this team should not be lighting people up the way they are. And if he had the talent of some of these other teams, of Detroit or some of these other offenses, or the receivers like they got in Seattle, who knows what they would look like. And I think those days are coming. But as of right now, nobody saw this offense doing what it's doing. And yes, they've had an easy schedule. But we mentioned it last week. The defenses they faced have been pretty good.
Right. They're just
haven't played bad teams. Atlanta's a good
quarterbacks and bad offenses.
Yes, but they've played good defenses. The biggest concern going into Tampa was Tampa's defense. The Browns' defense. I mentioned Atlanta's pass defense. Carolina, all these other, Carolina's a 500 team, but a lot of these teams have decent pass defenses, and they still figure out a way to light these teams up and put up a tremendous amount of points. So, yeah, Josh McDaniels, it's sad a coordinator can't get coach of the year, but he'd be a candidate in my opinion.
They should have, like college football has, I think they do have assistant coach of the year. I know the PFWA does it. I don't know if the AP does it. There is an assistant coach of the year award, which, he absolutely deserves. And, to compare it to that 21 team, because people ask, what's the difference? How do you know it's not that? And one, it's just Drake May's talent is immense. But also, you mentioned the offensive ranking. So they're 8th in the NFL heading in today. They're averaging 26.5 points a game, which is a good number. That 2021 team ranked 6th. They averaged 27.2. But people will point to, they put up 54 on a bad Jets team. They put up 45 on a bad Browns team. And then they put up an even 50 on the Jags at the end of the year. And that pumped that number up. When you look at what this Patriots team has done this year, the opener was odd. The opener was a very odd game. It doesn't resemble anything they're doing now. 33 against Miami. Okay, then they put up 14 against Pittsburgh. But since then, 42, 23, 25, 31, 32, 24, 28, 27. That's consistency.
Consistent.
That's freaking consistent, which is impressive, especially against good teams. So the consistency is one of the big things that stands out to me.
And I don't have it in front of me. That 21 team, if I'm not mistaken, I think didn't the defense turn people over a lot?
Yeah, there were a lot of short fields,
a lot of short field
touchdowns, things like that.
Yeah, and they the biggest playmakers on that team, the offense, was the running game. I think the running backs combined for like 25 or 2,600 yards total. This is including receiving yards, but their running backs were putting up numbers, and that's how they beat Buffalo that game without throwing it at all. They kind of ran like a Navy offense and found a way to win points, to win games. Excuse me.
Yeah. Look, there's some similarities. I'm not going to say it's night and day, but we'll see. They got some tough games coming up, but this one feels a lot more sustainable. So that's the big picture. We're going to do a lot of big picture today, but I do want to touch on the Jets game, given that we're just a couple days removed from that. You want to call in on either the Jets game, big picture. You want to talk about the Bucs game. You want to talk about what's coming up for the Patriots, what's coming up today in the NFL. Bills, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Broncos, Steelers, Bengals, huge games. All of it, 617-779-0985. But we will do a little Patriots-Jets next, plus your calls here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff coming up on the Sports Hub.
Boston Celtics basketball coverage. Though within structure.
It's great patience by May. Continuing to play at his MVP level. Get ready for the chance again tonight.
That was kind of the cap on it. Thursday night, Patriots beat the Jets 27-14. Drake May hits Travion Henderson 3 touchdowns for Henderson as he kind of continues this second half breakout here. I don't know, where do you want to start, sir, on Drake May, Travion Henderson, big picture, Patriots-Jets will, maybe not their best offensive game this year in terms of 60 minutes. They had a little bit of a slow start, but I think you saw some really good flashes in that one. Drake May, one of his most consistent games of the year. Again, maybe not his most highlighty, but, and I just kind of contradicted myself there. I say that in the sense that, didn't turn the ball over, limited the sacks. I should say one of Drake May's more high floor games of the year after that slow start. 25-34, 281 yards in the touchdown. Once they did get going, it felt like they really got going. Travion Henderson, a big part of it. Felt good. A little bit of a slow start. The end of the first half, I didn't love. The middle eight, I didn't love. But when they needed to get it going, they got it going against another one of these teams that, they got rid of 2 of their best players, but a better defense than offense.
Yeah, and look, heading into that game, the Jets the previous 2 weeks had 39 and 27 points. It didn't look like they were going to get anywhere near that on Thursday night. And as far as the Patriots not looking, smooth the whole game, it was a Thursday night game. A lot of those games usually aren't. Short week. Guys are kind of, I'm going to say, banged up, but physical game the week before.
It's a tough game.
Yeah, and it was a tough spot, and many were looking at it as a trap situation. So we knew they weren't going to play a perfect game, but I think they played well enough, and I believe they were dominant in key spots in that game. Again, you're playing a team that at very least can run the ball. You lose Milton Williams. So, that kind of changes the little things up front, but I thought they were more than good enough to win that game Thursday night. I thought Drake May, look, his numbers, he had a couple plays that, especially the one to the deep ball, he holds on to that ball. Drake May's stats are looking astronomical about that.
His best throw wasn't even caught. And that would have been
exactly.
He's still chasing that first 300-yard game. That would have been it. Quick side note.
And people are holding that against him, like when MVP, he was throwing for 300. It's like, yeah, but he actually leads the league in passing right now. But yeah, I think he had a couple plays here or there where, his numbers would have really exploded. They would have really blown the Jets out. But I thought one thing I was looking for was it was a cold night. I seen people bundled up, and you were there. You probably can tell how cool it really was. It probably was the coldest game he's played this season. And short week, cold night, division rival. I thought he played well. I thought he was in control of that game. It didn't look like he had a tough time holding on to the ball. Again, I thought he showed amazing footwork in the pocket, the way he was getting open. I love the way he holds the 2 hands on the ball and does like this NBA like Euro step to get out of trouble. I love the way he does that.
Over thing you're talking about, yeah.
He keeps doing it, and it's kind of becoming his thing. And he's got both hands on the ball, so he's not going to put it on the ground. And then he keeps his head up. I think that's going to be a thing. He's people always bring up Roethlisberger's pump fakes or the way Aaron Rodgers used to move, little things they used to do. I think that's going to be a signature thing for him because he's so good at it already. And Stephon Diggs was lighting it up. I thought they played a good game. And, Drake May, he just put another notch in winning MVP. And I thought it was an overall good performance for that offense. And look, I got to give the defense credit too. Like I just said, the Jets had just put up 70 in their last 2 games. So give the defense credit for what they did.
We'll get to the defense in a little bit. I just, one more thing on May. I think his pocket presence was so good in that game. And he's talked a lot. He talked in the summer about how he wanted to remain a thrower when he's scrambling and not just scramble to run, but keep his eyes up. And it's kind of come in waves with him this year. And I think he's now getting back to, after a couple games where he was maybe a little more run heavy than you want to see him be. Like, did a really good job of resetting the pocket. The back-to-back throws to Diggs, was it late third quarter, early fourth quarter? He has the one where he runs all the way to the sideline and flips it to him. Yep. And then he has the other one where he steps up in the pocket and hits him. And then that was the touchdown drive to Travion Henderson, which is another example of this. Those are the kind of plays you see a quarterback make maybe once or twice in a game. He made 5 or 6 of those in that game, including back-to-back on that drive, which was awesome to see. So I thought he was really good. It's good to see Travion Henderson get going. I don't want them to overwork him. 24 touches on a short week. That's a career high. He had 18 2 weeks prior, then 15, so that workload is up. Look, does he become their... Okay, I think starting running back doesn't really mean anything in the modern NFL. Yeah. There's Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley and these guys that play like 80% of the snaps. Mm-hmm. You can count them on one hand. Most teams are running back by committee. You might have a guy start a game and only get the ball 5 times because it's just his package is on for the first play, and the other running back that comes on ends up getting more of the workload. So does Travion Henderson become their starting back or their feature back or the guy that gets more carries? Yes, I think there's a chance that when Stevenson gets healthy, Henderson is the main guy, but I think it's going to be closer to 50-50 than what it's been. But I think that's good for Travion Henderson because you're still seeing him, like the nothing runs are still in there. You give those to Stevenson, who's better at fighting for those competitive yards, and you try to pick your spots for Henderson where he can give you those explosive plays, contribute more in the passing game, which he's doing more. 5 catches, his most since the opener. I like where he's at. I like where he's trending to. Quick side note, and I know you had another thought there.
No problem.
On the Drake May 300-yard game thing, they're actually... People have pointed to the new kickoff. One thing people don't like about the new kickoff is the total yardage, offensive yardage is down across the NFL because teams are now starting at the 30, 35, 40-yard line because it's easier to have these returns. I like it. A 300-yard passing game should mean something. That used to mean something. You didn't roll out of bed, and throw for 300 yards. This isn't to defend Drake May, and 300-yard games are down across the league. It just made me think of it. Like, I would like to see Drake May have a 300-yard game. This isn't to say, 300 yards doesn't mean anything. No, it does. It should mean something. A 400-yard, 500-yard total offensive game should mean something. Shouldn't be able to roll out of bed and do it. And I just a side tangent. I like that those are harder and they mean something again, personally.
Well, to that point that you mentioned, Flacco's had 3 straight games of almost 400 or more.
It's insane. It's insane. He's on a tear.
But they're losing. You see what I'm saying? But it's like,
oh yeah, that's a good point.
He'd rather have 290 and get 3 straight wins. You know what I'm saying? It's and the argument I've been making across social media is usually in today's football, when guys are putting 300-400 up, it's because they're losing and have to fight their way back. They're throwing it so much. When you're in the position the Patriots are in with their point differential and all that stuff, a lot of the time they're running the ball to get up out of there. He's not trying to throw it 45 times to get over 300 yards. He has to fight to come back. They usually have been in control of these games. He's more than capable of throwing for 300 yards in a game, but they just haven't had to. But the point I was going to make earlier, when you were talking about the sideline throws and stuff to Diggs, did you catch the play? He didn't complete it. He was rolling to his right, and I think it was Hunter Henry. And he didn't look at him. He's pointing up the field like, get up, but he's looking at the sideline. It was like he didn't look, and then he threw it to him, and it was just over his fingertips. I thought that was cool, and I'm sitting like, okay, am I the only one that saw that? Like, he was pointing at him to go upfield, but he never looked his way as he was running toward the sidelines, and then he flung it over there and just missed his hands. And I thought that would have been a cool play if they had completed it. But to me, that shows his confidence and control that he has in this offense right now. And that's going to be really hard to turn off. Again, he's doing this without Stevenson and without, I think, his favorite target in Booty. So this is pretty impressive stuff from Drake.
And let's give some credit to it. I don't want to lose sight of this. He looked, to your point, a lot more comfortable in that game. Let's give credit to the offensive line. He was only hit 4 times.
Yeah.
And much better from the last couple weeks. Now, the Jets' pass rush isn't as good, but you want to see the offensive line play better against the worst unit. And I thought Will Campbell had a strong game in this game. At least against pass. The run blocking wasn't as great, but the pass blocking, they kept Drake May protected, which you want to see. By the way, you know who leads the NFL in 300-yard games? Is a tie. There's 2 guys that have 3. Last year at this point, there were multiple players that had 4. 2 guys that have 3. You know who leads the NFL in 300-yard games? I'll give you a hint. One of them is not a starter.
It's Flacco and Mac Jones?
Herbert and Mac Jones. Flacco is 2. But
really?
Mac Jones, who got benched by the Niners, we'll get to that as 2. Yeah. You mentioned, so Flacco had 342 3 weeks ago. Then he had 223. Then he had 470 last week.
470, okay.
So, but Mac Jones tied for the NFL lead in 300-yard games and benched by the 49ers. But that's another conversation for another time. I do want to talk about the Patriots defense against the Jets. You mentioned it there. We'll get to that on the other side. I see you guys lined up on the phone as well. We'll get to your calls here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff, 617-779-0985. We're right back.
Stay tuned for more Sunday Kickoff on the Sports Hub.
This is Sean.
Fields in the gun, and back to his left. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Thigh-high snap this time. Fields in the pocket. He gets drilled. 2 Patriots made it. The quarterback who holds on. The first hit was from Christian Barmore, coming from Fields left before Harold Landry got in on the end.
I think this offensive line here is giving up right now these last couple series. Just catch them on their heels. Man, Landry just collapses it.
That was after Milton Williams went out of the game. Christian Barmore's first sack of the year, but he's going to see a lot more double teams, and he was already seeing plenty. See a lot more double teams now, but good to see him get going. Elijah Ponder, 2 sacks in 2 weeks. Heavy run game for the Jets. Most of the focus, I think, is on the front. It's Alex Barth and Cerrone Battle on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Another painful opening drive, and then they got it going. Cerrone kind of felt like a textbook game from the 2025 Patriots defense.
Yeah, they're really good at figuring out what you do and trying to take it away. And on the flip side, teams, it's the NFL. Teams are really good at scripting their first 10, 15 plays. And the teams executing it, they're professionals. And the Patriots seem to be playing pretty basic vanilla and let you get those 10, 15 out the way. And then after that, they start playing football and you're in trouble. And it's been a theme going back to September. So, going back to the Vegas game, right down the field. And they just wasn't able to catch up to Geno and that offense at the time. But it's been who they are all season, and I don't expect that to change. Now, if you don't score on your first drive, you're really in trouble. But they're pretty good at figuring you out once the strategy really comes into play, and after you're done with those scripted plays, it becomes an uphill battle for a lot of teams.
Look, I've said that eventually against good teams you can't have that happen. But then it happened against Tampa, and they beat them kind of comfortably. I don't think the score reflects how comfortably they won that. It wasn't a blowout, but
yeah, they got a late garbage touchdown and made it look closer than it was.
Right. So that's against a good team. I don't know. Just everything I know in 30 years of watching football tells me you allow a touchdown on the opening drive, that's bad. And I will add, league-wide touchdowns on the opening drives are up.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody called in a Felger Maz on Friday, and a lot of these teams are exceptions to the rule. That the Patriots, I think they said the Browns and Titans, it's the only opening drive touchdown they have all year. So, again, 30 years of watching football tells me you allow a touchdown on the first drive of the game, that's not good. It's going to hurt you in the long run. But with this team, I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird thing. I don't have the evidence to say it's going to hurt them for this team. So it's been weird. Besides that, I thought they were fine against the run. Breece Hall went for over 50 yards, so it's 2 weeks in a row of that. But I thought they held up relatively well. Roberts Blaine had a good game. Jack Gibbons had a very good game. He was all over the place. Came up with a couple big stops. He's been playing more with Christian Ellis out. Now, Ellis does some things that he doesn't do, so I don't think this isn't like bench Ellis entirely. But I would kind of like to still see an expanded role for Gibbons on defense, especially on early downs when Ellis comes back. Again, less in the secondary. They didn't throw the ball as much. Chris Gonzalez did get beat a few times. Game might have looked a little different if A.D. Mitchell could catch. But I'm still not super worried about him. At the end of the day, the first one, I give him some credit. He got beat initially. He caught back up, added some contact that led to the drop. The second one, he got beat bad. That one, too, is not even... as a general rule of thumb, I always say, this is just me, so for whatever that's worth, if you get 2 hands on the football as a receiver, you should catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the receiver if it's 2 hands. But also, the second drop, big drop that Mitchell had, he's wide open. There's nobody within 5 yards of him in any direction. He's past the sticks. There's really no need to lead him to any extreme amount. And the way Fields throws the ball, he has to go up over the wrong shoulder, twist his body, hit the ground hard. Again, he got 2 hands on it. It's a drop.
Yeah.
But the fact he got 2 hands on it was impressive, given how bad of a throw it was from Justin Fields. So they got bailed out a couple times in the secondary. To go back to the point, I don't know, how are you feeling about Christian Gonzalez?
No, I'm not down on him at all. I think what tends to happen is when you're playing a quarterback like that, a guy who hasn't gone over 60 yards or something like that in 3 straight games, something ridiculous. You play him different. You know, people will say, "Oh, if that was a good quarterback, they would have got cooked." It's like, yeah, well, they wouldn't have played him that way. They wouldn't have took chances, gambled, focus, footwork, technique. Everything would have been completely different if you're playing Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes in those situations, because they know every little window can get you burnt. And I think the reason some of these guys were kind of open in certain situations because it was Justin Fields. They were playing him a different way. They were forcing him to make a downfield deep out, see if he can be accurate with it. And it was like, no, we can play off a little bit here because he's not going to put it on the numbers. And if he does, well, so be it. The kid went over 100 yards, and it was like a milestone. Like, oh, he crossed 100 yards. That's the kind of quarterback he is. A better quarterback, they wouldn't have played him like that. And I think you kind of they're human, they're natural. They're going to put their guard down, let their guard down a little bit when it's that type of quarterback. But I'm pretty sure when they go against that Bengals offense, the secondary is going to be locked in. They're going to have to be step for step, stride for stride with those receivers, or they're going to get cooked. And I think their level of focus and the play calling defensively will be drastically different playing the Bengals as it was to what they did with the Jets Thursday night.
I mean, it's going to have to be. I would hope so. Polar opposite offenses in that matchup. Any other thoughts from the defense on Thursday night? I feel like it wasn't a very eventful game outside of that opening drive. Not in a good way, but not a very eventful game for that unit.
No, I mean, I thought it didn't look like they were in control of the ground game, but I think after that first really long drive, I think they were. Yeah. I think they kind of shut things down a little bit. I think the only reason the Jets didn't lose that game by 40 was the offense just missed a few plays here or there, but it wasn't because of the defense. Like I said, that the Jets, you go back their last 2 weeks, they were going for their third straight win or something like that. They had put up a lot of points in the previous 2 games, and they've had stretches during the season, even without throwing the football. Well, the Jets have scored 30, I want to say 4 or 5 times this year. They figured out a way to get points. I don't know how. But for the Patriots to keep them to 2 touchdowns, I thought they played good enough for a Thursday night, especially losing Milton Williams. You're already down Ellis.
Yeah.
I think they played a pretty good game defensively.
They settled in.
Yeah.
So the first drive, 14 plays, 72 yards. Again, not great.
Mm-hmm.
The last drive, 12 plays, 50 yards. Del Pettis breaks up the pass at the end on 4th down. That was kind of garbage time. They were, again, in kind of that softer look. Mm-hmm. So the 6 drives in between, 5 of them went for 8 yards or less. They had that 1 touchdown drive in the third quarter, 9 plays, 65 yards. Their other drives, 3 plays, 7 yards punt. 3 plays, 6 yards punt. 3 plays, 8 yards punt. 6 plays, 4 yards punt. 9 plays, 65 touchdown. 6 plays, 8 yards punt. 1 play, that was the fumble, -4 yards and the turnover there. So there was the first drive and then 1 other drive. You give up 2 big drives, that's it, over the course of a game, you're probably going to be in good shape, especially with Drake May at quarterback. You're going to be in good shape.
One thing I would add, too.
Yeah.
People saying it was a different quarterback, they would have had, he probably would have lit him up in the air. Probably. If Justin Fields wasn't as fast as he was, he probably would have got sacked 10 times.
That's true.
They were getting to him. He was just getting away. He was outrunning guys. He was getting on the edge. If Justin Fields didn't have the wheels that he had, that Patriots defensive line would have ate up any other quarterback the way they were playing on Thursday night.
All right, I see you guys hanging on the phones. You've been very patient. Right to your calls after this. You want to join on? We got a couple open lines, 617-779-0985. Again, right to your calls when we come back here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff is on the way on the Sports Hub.
back here on Sports Up Sunday Kickoff. Alex, Barth, Cerrone Battle. Like I said, right to your calls here. We'll start off with Randy in Providence on the Patriots. Randy.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good.
Morning.
So I had initially called, I want to mention some troubling statistical trends, I guess. But first, I couldn't agree with you more about Josh McDaniels. You talked about his impact on the team, and I look at it as similar to a student being given the right book for the test that he's about to take. Last year, Drake was getting by on his talent, but he just wasn't properly prepared. And I think that this year, we heard early in the year talk about like Caleb Williams learning how to watch film. I think learning how to prepare for the game, learning what to look for, what he's seeing out there in the defenses has given him the confidence to make the throws he's making, to stand in the pocket. He knows what he's about to see before it even unfolds. And I think that's really been the biggest difference this year.
Yeah.
For Drake May, that is. But a couple of the trends that I wanted to touch on, you've already talked about the first quarter defensive scoring issues, which I agree with you. I think that's a problem when you go talk about good teams, right? And trying to fight back from those holes. You mentioned Tampa. Yeah, they're a good team, but not all the good teams we face are going to be missing their top running back and their two top receivers. So it's kind of hard to put them in that same bucket of like, well, what if we face Kansas City down the road and we give up a first drive touchdown and we're trying to dig out of that hole? The most troubling statistic that I have from the Patriots is the opponent red zone scoring percentage. Right now, the Patriots at 32nd, giving up 72% of touchdowns in red zone scoring opportunities. And despite the fact they're the lowest red zone attempts per game, it's still an issue if you get inside that 20 and you cannot stop them from getting a touchdown. So I guess I wanted to ask you guys about how you think that's going to impact going forward from here.
Thanks for the call, Randy. It's a weird one. Like you said, they're not really allowing teams into the red zone. When they do, they're allowing scores. You obviously have to play better red zone defense. It's something Mike Vrabel has talked about since week one, especially if you are going to play more of this bend, don't break style. They seem to kind of lock in around the high red zone, right around the 30 is where they've been holding teams up. It is another area where they need to get better. It's maybe not as in your face of the first drive scoring because it hasn't happened as much. I will say on Tampa, they were banged up. They still had a Mecca Ibuka. They still have an MVP caliber quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Like, that's still a good team.
Yeah, they've been winning without the help. They haven't had a healthy receiving group all year.
That's still, even without those guys, it tells you how good the Bucs are. Do you have any thoughts on the red zone defense, Cerrone?
Well, I think a part of it is that the first quarter, the first drives, the teams are getting down in the red zone on the first drive and they're getting guaranteed points. That's going to boost those numbers up a lot. And then you get situations where, like against Tampa, games out of hand, you allow a touchdown in the back of the end zone to Walker. And I look at like the Atlanta game. Atlanta scored a ton of touchdowns, but it wasn't because of bad defense. It's that they had guys up there playing basketball, boxing people out, making spectacular catches. And that's 3 touchdowns you've given up there. Late touchdowns in games, they're going to get those. But I think the key point is teams aren't getting there enough. They're not getting downfield. Now, if you're allowing teams in the red zone on every drive, you're going to be in trouble. But I think that's kind of their strategy and the way they've been doing it. They don't let you get to the red zone. And right. I think that's where they're strong at. But I think a lot of the touchdowns they have given up weren't just blown coverages of bad defense. A lot of it was some guys made some plays against them in Atlanta key situations, other situations, the games are out of hand and they got points. But I'm not really concerned about it yet. And I know once you come playoff time, everybody's good. But if you're playing playing the Colts, I'm not expecting Daniel Jones to get 3-4 touchdowns in the red zone against the Patriots or Foxborough. That's just me though.
Let's go to Matt, Rhode Island. Matt.
Hey, what's up, guys? I could have listened to Vince Wilfork talk about barbecue sauce all day long yesterday.
That was great yesterday.
Cool.
Check it out if you haven't. Patriots Hub podcast.
So you were talking about Travion Henderson, obviously playing great now, a couple games. But you talked about, what kind of back he is. He's not getting all those touches. So for me, I was really disappointed he didn't go get like a Chuba Hubbard at the trade deadline because like Ramondre's hurt right now, obviously not getting in the game. So he's had these fumbling issues. when he gets back on the field in inclement weather, dude, I just wanted to, it wasn't really a depth piece. It's something that you really need that guy. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Matt. Look, they believe in Ramondre Stevenson. That's been made pretty clear, whether you want to agree or not, and the fumbles have been an issue. I think they trust him, and he will. I would think he'll be back. Like, he returned to practice this week. So he was listed as limited, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think he plays next week.
That would be about 3 weeks. We don't know what the injury is. There really hasn't been any reporting on that. All we've heard is toe. But he was listed as limited earlier this week. So they trust Stevenson. I think they like Jennings too. I do think they actually like him. So look, I would have liked to see him get it back at the deadline. That's not to excuse it. I said this yesterday with McCarthy. I can't get fired up about the NFL trade deadline. Somebody called in, upset they didn't get a number one wide receiver. I'm not going to go that far. It's the NFL trade deadline.
No one's giving up a number one.
Right. The Sauce Gardner trade is so rare, and I don't even like that trade for the Colts, and some of that's about Sauce Gardner. It's not the Colts, but I would have liked to see them add some running back depth. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think they view it as Henderson's their only capable back. I know some other people may look at it that way because of Stevenson's fumbling history. They don't view it that way. I think they really like Stevenson, and they believe he can be a complimentary back. So I think when he comes back, like, Henderson's role is not going to shrink to what it was in September.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be much more of a 50-50 thing. Henderson's still going to have a bigger role than he had. I just don't think it's going to be this big. Let's go to Joe in the car on the defense. Joe.
Good morning, guys. On Thursday night's game, I think Christian Gonzalez was a business decision game for him, where he just wanted to, 2 games in a shorter period of time, just wanted to get out of there, not get hurt, given that Justin Fields isn't much of a threat. And I hope Santa brings us all an early gift on Sunday and gives us a cat coverage game where it's Chase versus Gonzalez and Higgins versus Carlton Davis, because that's going to be an amazing thing to watch.
I'm with you, Joe. Thanks for the call. I want to see more of these, like, shadow man coverage games, tighter coverage, not the off stuff. I've been waiting to see it. Look, they played that way against Buffalo. That's the one time they've really done it this year. If you're going to bring it back out again, you're going to do it against a team like Cincinnati.
Yeah. And you did it against Buffalo knowing that Josh Allen has the ability to get out and run, and he still was able to do that. You do it against Cincinnati, no matter if it's Burrow or Flacco. They're not running anywhere, right? Especially Burrow with his injuries. He's not going anywhere. So I think you have a better chance of doing it against Cincinnati. And look, I think Cincinnati's going to have to they're going to throw it 40, 50 times, because Cincinnati just sustained another injury on that defense, and the Patriots might be able to put 60 up on these cats if they don't get it together. But that's going to be a fun one to watch, and you're going to get a real display of talent and skill when it comes to those receivers and DBs matching up next week.
I'm telling you, I'm picking 50-45. I don't know who yet, but I think I'm picking 50-45 in that game. All right,
watch the weather. Let's see what the weather looks like, too.
Patty Nagwan, bring us home here. What do you got?
Hey, Alex. Hey, Cerrone. Hey. So just a couple things. The first thing I wanted to say, I got to give kudos to Christian Barmore, who I don't watch the All-22, but it looked to me, my eyeball test, that he kind of dominated that game defensively after Milton Williams went down. And
really good second half.
I can't stress the importance that I think the next 2 games are very important games to win, because then you got to, you play Buffalo and Baltimore. Who knows? I think if they split one of those 2 games, we're in good shape. But the question that I had for both these guys is regarding Kyle Williams. I know it hasn't looked great this year. Do you guys are either of you giving up on him, or do you think possibly he just needs an off season of working with Drake May so he can, he'll have like more of a nuance of what Drake wants to do, like on a lot of these option routes? Do you think he's miscast in the role that he's in? And what the hell is actually going on with Kyle Williams? I'm not giving up on him, because unlike guys like Harry and Polk, he's actually fast. Like, he's got electric speed, and he gets open. He's just not in the right place most of the time. And I'll take it off air, guys.
Thanks for the call, Patty. I think you summed it up well. To me, it's what Maz said when I was on with them on Friday. I said Drake May and Kyle Williams aren't on the same page. And he goes, no, Kyle Williams is not on the same page with Drake May. It doesn't seem like Drake May is doing the wrong thing. So I thought that was a good point from Maz. I'll steal that line. Look, I think Patty mentions the role, at least before the Kayshon Boutte injury. Mike Vrabel talked about this. Kyle Williams was kind of practicing in multiple spots. He was sort of the utility backup wide receiver. Yeah. So that can be tough for a rookie. You don't get to learn one spot. And I don't think he gets a lot of time with Drake May in practice because he's the fifth guy on the depth chart. And they got to get ready for these games. He's buying Diggs, Booty. I mean, again, for most of the season, I know Booty's been out, but Diggs, Booty, Pop, and Hollins. He's clearly behind those guys. So he does have breakaway speed. I like his ability after the catch. He's a good router. He's been getting open. You go back, you watch him against the Falcons, and even some of the second half against the Jets there, he's getting open. I think part of the reason he's not getting the ball is, again, I do wonder where his trust level is at with Drake May. If he was playing with Tom Brady, we wouldn't see him again. Drake, this is a different thing. So he does need to pick up that chemistry, the little details of the routes like Patty mentioned. I think that's it. That might not come until next year. Because I think at 9-2, they're not going to go out of their way to sit other guys at practice. Maybe Diggs, if they want to give him some rest down the stretch as an older player. So, no, I'm not giving up on Kyle Williams' big picture. I kind of understand why he's struggling the way he is right now, and maybe that means he doesn't – I thought he was going to get added into the offense, around this time of the year. And I said that back in the summer that around Thanksgiving you'll maybe see him carve out more of a role. And now I'm thinking maybe that's a next year thing. And that's not to say, calm down, don't worry, everything's going to be great. I just don't know. He's just kind of an unknown. So I'm not giving up. I'm not stamping him as certainly the future either. I just don't know.
Yeah, and I think one thing we all penciled him in, getting playing time as the season went on. But again, that's like we said earlier in the show. That's because we thought the receiving group wasn't going to be that good. I think part of the problem is Mac Hollins is balling. Stephon Diggs is balling. Pop Douglas is coming along. You still got Hunter Henry. There's other guys that Drake may trust in certain situations that he's going to look to first. And it's not that Kyle Williams is a bad football player. It's, Diggs is already open. Hollins is a big guy who's already open. He's making plays. Hunter Henry's there. Pop Douglas is he's open. He's flashing in front of his face. These guys have been good in front of him. So it's like, you know what? You can sit there as the fifth guy for now because we're good. The guys ahead of you have been really good in their roles and their positions. And even when we lose one of them, the other three are still lighting it up. I thought Hollins had a tremendous game. And Kyle Williams is going to get his chance. He's going to get his opportunities. And I think you mentioned it. There was a play or two where he had space and Drake May was looking his way. I think the defender got in his face, he ended up throwing it away and throwing it in the ground or something like that. But he had a couple chances where he could have had big plays like he did against Tampa. But again, it's because he trusts the other guys in front of him. And it's not because he's a bad football player. If that was the case, he wouldn't be on the field. But I think his time will come. But for right now, we should be enjoying the way these other guys ahead of him have been playing football.
All right, that clears the phone lines. We can do that again. You want to call in, talk Patriots with us, 617-779-0985. But next, we go around the NFL, no commercials, just the headlines. We're right back with your Week 11 slate here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, WBC-FM and HD1. It's not just the game. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots off today after beating the New York Jets on Thursday night. However, the team did make some news yesterday, placing defensive tackle Milton Williams on IR with a sprained ankle. He'll now have to miss at least 4 games to fill the roster spot. The team signed Braden Swinson off the practice squad. Patriots are off on their mini bye week. They take on the Bengals next week. Meanwhile, though, some big games today that could impact their playoff seeding. The Bills host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1 o'clock. The Chiefs host the Broncos at 4:25. Elsewhere on the slate, get those fantasy lineups set. You got about 25 minutes before the Washington Commanders and Miami Dolphins kick off in Madrid. Game tonight in the NFC has the Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. A couple of top 10 teams fell in college football yesterday in ranked matchups. Number 4, Alabama lost to number 11, Oklahoma. And number 10, Texas, lost to number 5, Georgia. Number 3, Texas A&M almost lost. They raised a 27-point halftime deficit to hold on for a 31-30 win at home against South Carolina. The Bruins picked up a 3-2 win over the Canadiens in Montreal last night. Jeremy Swayman stopped 26 of the 28 shots he faced. With the win, the Bruins now sit in first place in the Atlantic Division. The Celtics, they're back in action today after a few days off. They host the Los Angeles Clippers, with coverage starting at 3 o'clock right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm Alex Barth on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
Boston Talk Sports.
Break me.
We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Pick a target.
You pick it.
Take your pick.
Pick me.
I did not pick. There was no pick.
Pick them up. You pick them up.
Pick.
I pick.
Pick me.
Take the teams.
Pick one, jerk.
All right, it's week 11 in the National Football League. Let's go through it. I guess we don't need to do a Thursday game. Patriots-Jets. That was the biggest spread of the week, I'll tell you that. 12.5 points in that one. So let's go to the game. I said it there in the headlines. That's kicking off here in a matter of minutes in Madrid. You see the video of the field going...
Spectacular.
Yeah, unreal. Anyway, kicking off in Madrid between the 3-7 Commanders and 3-7 Dolphins.
You should stand corrected. Good morning. False. Great morning. Let's go.
What makes this one great?
Because we're another day closer to death.
The Dolphins, 2.5-point favorites against the Commanders in this one.
Yeah, Commanders are in. I don't know what's going on with them right now. Give me the Dolphins in an ugly, boring game.
You seen the Dolphins' upcoming schedule?
No.
It's very easy.
Really?
At 3-7, do they start making a little bit of noise here? I like the Dolphins today. I'll take the Dolphins today. Give me Dolphins in that one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the 1 o'clock window with the 5-5 Panthers at the 3-6 Falcons.
This one is the Red Stallions.
We've got the Panthers 3.5-point underdogs in Atlanta.
I want to take Atlanta in this game, but like I say every other week, this is the one Carolina ends up winning. I mean, the division games, they're pretty tough. Atlanta, I don't know what's going on with them. Too much individual talent. But Carolina, they go back over 500 with this win, so I think Carolina's going to play a little harder for this one. Give me the Panthers in a close one.
Yeah, Atlanta feels a little messy right now. Give me the Panthers. I mean, they're dogs. I'll take them to cover 3.5. Whether they win or not, I'll take them to cover. Huge game here for Patriots fans. The 6-3 Buccaneers at the 6-3 Buffalo Bills.
We are what our record says we are, as they say.
At the 50-yard line, you are trespassing. Get off the field.
You know, get opportunities to win the game.
Is on its way.
Opportunities to win the game.
The Patriots would have a 2.5 game lead in the division if the Bills lose this one at home. 5.5-point favorites, though, Buffalo against a banged-up Tampa team.
Yeah, I want the Bills to lose this game badly, but I think playing at home this time of year against a team from Florida is a W. I don't think Tampa can go up there and win that game. I think it should be a fun one to watch, but give me the Bills and give me the Bills to cover.
This has kind of been the spot the last couple of years where everybody's ready to actually write the Bills off and say, is this year different that they bounce back? Yeah, I think they bounce back. They have a tough schedule coming up, but I don't think this is the game that gets them. Give me Buffalo. Maybe it's closer than 5.5. Maybe it's a field goal game. I'll take Tampa to cover. I think they sweat it out a little bit, but give me Buffalo to cover. Oh, remember, I had Miami covering last week. The 7-3 Chargers visit the 5-4 Jaguars.
Duval.
This is a sneaky big game in the AFC wildcard picture. Chargers going all the way across the country to Jacksonville, 3.5-point favorites.
I watched Jacksonville play against Houston last week, and I'm never picking them to win a game the rest of the season. Give me the Chargers. There's no way. I watched the fourth quarter of that game. Like, what is going on here? Give me the Chargers.
You know what I'm going to say here? West Coast team coming east. 1 o'clock kickoff. Upset, angry Jags team. Give me the Jags. I'll take the Jags. You can't lose again after a game like that. You just can't do it. They are the Jaguars, so of course they can. But I'll take the Jaguars. They'll go out on a limb there. Let's go to the NFC North where the Bears take on the Vikings.
You got an orange peanut?
Yeah.
An orange peanut? For me?
That's right.
Oh, wow. An orange peanut? Well, I accept you.
Those videos are so good. If you're too young to remember, they used to put these out like 2 or 3 times a year. It was called NFL Bad Lip Reading. They had it for more than the NFL, too. They would do it for like any big event. But It was basically like they'd show little clips from NFL games, but somebody would voice it over with what it looked like the person was saying based on their lips, and it would be like just close enough. Although if they did it now, it would probably all just be bad AI. But back in the day, we used to like, you'd call your buddies, oh, new NFL lip reading just dropped. Did you see it yet? We'd say lines from that all the time. Orange peanut. Anyway, the Vikings 3.5-point favorites against the Bears.
Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears in this one. The Vikings, they're just not playing good football right now. Give me the Bears to win this one.
Not a believer in 9?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Bears are actually playing very well. I've been impressed with them, and it quietly playing well. They're not. I thought once they took off, they'd be more of a story. They really haven't been. Maybe that happens today. I'll take the Bears, especially to cover the 3.5, but I think they win that game. 5-3-1 Packers at 2-8 Giants.
That's a get your fat ass off.
Shut up, Sims. Now don't be a damn no-class player.
Giants 7.5-point underdogs at home, Cerrone.
Yeah, give me the Packers. Giants, I think, are playing for draft position right about now. I'm not sure how much winning they're trying to do. Give me the Packers over Jameis Winston and the Giants.
So you said it right there. Jameis Winston, first start of the year. Give me the Giants. It would be so Jameis Winston come out. Also, you get the interim coach bump.
True.
Mike Kafka, who once threw 70 passes in an Outback Bowl in 2010 and ran the ball 20 times. You don't think he has Jameis Winston looking at that stat line? Give me the Giants to win, not just cover 7.5. Give me the Giants to win. It's the kind of weird thing that's been happening this year.
Yeah.
I'll take the Giants. Another big game for the Patriots playoff outlook. The 3-6 Bengals at the 5-4 Steelers.
I'm saying, how's Pittsburgh work? Am I constantly going in and out of Pittsburgh throughout the day? Yes or no?
No.
I was just talking to somebody about that bit yesterday. The Steelers 5.5-point favorites at home. The highest total of the day, not the week, highest total of the day, 49 points.
I'm going to take the Bengals in this one because I think the Steelers' defense is just as bad as theirs. And I think they're going to find a way to score almost every single time downfield, whereas the Steelers are going to have their share of 3-and-outs and Rodgers throwing it out of bounds on third down. Give me the Bengals to win this game.
I'm with you. Give me the Bengals to win. I think the other element here, Joe Burrow comes back to practice. That's got to, if you're elsewhere on that roster, that's got to kind of send a message like, hey, he's trying to come back a little early. We got to give him something to come back for. 4-6 versus 3-7 are two completely different situations.
Yeah, you might sit him down after that.
Right. So Joe Flacco knows how to go and win Pittsburgh. I think you got to motivate a team around him. Give me the Bengals. Final game in the 1 o'clock window here, the 4-5 Texans at the 1-8 Titans.
Sage Rosenfels tries to become Jim Brown. What a gaffe.
The Texans 6.5-point favorites is also the lowest total of the week, 37 points.
Yeah, give me the Texans. I'm not sure if Stroud is back or not, but either way, give me the Texans. Titans again, like the Giants. I don't think they're trying to win too many more games. Give me the Texans.
Yeah, Titans are a universal pick against for me.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Texans. Let's go to the 4 o'clock window. 6-4 Niners at 3-6 Cardinals.
Every single week, I put my freaking heart and soul into this. I don't go out there and laugh. It's not funny.
Who is that? What's that from?
Oh, is that? I think it was Derek Anderson got caught on the sidelines laughing in a blowout.
Oh, that's right.
He got
that's
asked
right,
about
right.
it on Monday Night Football and lost his crap.
Anyways, Niners 3.5-point favorites on the road. Brock Purdy back under center for San Francisco.
Ooh. I'm going to take the Niners, but, man, they better win this game. If they go out there and get cooked, that's it for Brock Purdy.
That's why I'm taking the Cardinals. I think it would be Mac Jones is inevitable. Whether you like him or hate him as a player, have we not learned by now Mac Jones is inevitable? I'll take the Cardinals. I'll take the Cardinals, and we do another round of Mac Jones. Mac Jones gets to play Bailey Zappi this time around.
True.
Jones fever.
Yeah, it's true.
How about this one? This might be for all we've talked about some of these games impacting the Patriots, and we'll get to another one in a little bit here. This is probably the game of the week, Cerrone. The 7-2 Seahawks at the 7-2 Rams. I mean, this is as heavyweight matchup as you can get. These teams do not like each other. They finished close in the division last year. They already played, they did not play once this year. This is the first of 2 games between them, but went to overtime last year. Rams, 3.5-point favorites. That's probably just being at home. These 2 very evenly matched teams. Who you got?
Man, The Seahawks have been rolling the last few weeks. And I think I might have to go with the Seahawks. I think they play very similar styles with the same strengths and weaknesses. But give me the Seahawks in this one. Sam Darnold, he saves his meltdown for the playoffs, but I think he's going to play good ball to finish out the season.
I'm with the Seahawks, and I'll tell you this. It doesn't impact Patriots' playoff standings, but
MVP, though.
MVP, look, he's going to annoy Patriots fans because he's not playing today. Whichever quarterback wins this game is going to be the betting favorite to win MVP, I bet, by the end of the day.
Yeah, unless they both are just terrible.
Right, unless maybe we get like a 3-0 game, but I don't think so. Total in this one is 48.5. Kind of like the over indoors in L.A. Kind of like the over there. A couple more 4 o'clock games in the AFC. The 4-5 Ravens at the 2-7 Browns.
And they won 2 world wars. 2 world wars by doing jumping jacks, push-ups, and sit-ups. 2 world wars.
Lamar Jackson was a little banged up again in practice this week. He is expected to go. Ravens 7.5-point favorites.
I think the Ravens will win this game, but the Browns' defensive line with a Lamar Jackson's clearly lost a step and is banged up. He's not getting away like he used to. We all saw the Browns D-line up close and personal. If they take away the run and can get to Lamar Jackson, they can win that game. I'm going to get the Ravens to win it, but in an ugly, low-scoring game.
I think it's low-scoring. I think the Browns cover that. I think the Ravens win. 7.5, though, feels like a bit of a long line. So I'm with you on that. And then this is another big one. 5-4 Chiefs at 8-2 Broncos.
They're going to kick it. They're going to kick it.
Kick what?
Kicking the field goal.
What?
The Chiefs going into Mile High, favored by 4.5.
I got the Broncos in this one. In August, I had Kansas City winning 9 games. I'm not changing on that now. Give me the Broncos because I think the Broncos' defensive line is on an all-timer right now. Wow. Give me the Broncos D-line to get at Kansas City badly and win this game.
So I have referred to this at times on air as the Fraud Bowl. One of these teams is fraudulent. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
We're going to find out today. I think it's the Broncos, so I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Or it's the multi-time Super Bowl champions, one of those.
Right, exactly. The Chiefs have earned a little more goodwill for me. They've earned a little more rope. But 5-5, and then, so this is what's interesting. Chiefs play the Broncos this week, and then the Colts next week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really going to find out how much this AFC shift in power balance is real.
I think it's very real.
I will give the Chiefs, well, I get you, but winning the Fraud Bowl, it sounds like that team is the fraud. Right? So how do I think the Chiefs
going to lose the Fraud Bowl.
You're going to lose it. Yeah.
Escape the Fraud Bowl? Would that be the word?
Yeah, they got back. The Chiefs are in a fraud tournament right now because they played the Colts next week too.
So there's Fraud Bowl 1 and Fraud Bowl 2. But I think the Broncos are the fraud. I'm giving the Broncos the whatever you want to call it. But they are proven the fraud of Fraud Bowl 1.
I don't have the schedule in front of me, but don't they play Broncos, Colts, Broncos? So this is like a 3-week fraud stretch.
I thought the second Broncos game was at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Broncos, Colts, Cowboys. We know who the fraud is there.
Yeah.
Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders.
Okay.
Close it out for the Chiefs. Which is not easy. But I'm going to take the Chiefs in that one. But you're taking the Broncos, okay?
Because of the D-line, man. That D-line plus the Kansas City's O-line. I think Mahomes is going to be running for his life a lot in this game.
I think it's going to be a good, close football game. I do. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. And then tonight in the NFC, another excellent game again. This slate rules. 6-3 Lions at 7-2 Eagles.
We're going to stamp baseball for what?
It's baseball.
Yeah, that's why baseball sucks.
The Eagles 2.5-point favorites at the Link.
Ooh, give me the Eagles at home. I know with all the stuff with A.J. Brown and all that was going on, they're still winning football games. All the craziness going on, they're still sitting there at 7-2. Give me the Eagles at home, outside. And I just, for some reason, I don't think Detroit can go in there and win that game in this situation. But give me the Eagles in a fun game.
You know what? I see one team that's trending up. I see one team that's trending down. Give me the team that's trending up. Give me Detroit. Eagles have looked a little shaky the last couple of weeks, even though they've won. I feel like people got really spooked on the Lions after the way they lost their opener. But they've been good since. I know they lost the Vikings a couple weeks ago, but they've been good since. Put 44 on the Commanders last week. I'm going to take the Lions to go in there and win. And then this awesome Sunday slate, great Sunday slate. So you're going to come back tomorrow. Oh, boy, I'm still riding the high of a great football Sunday. How are we going to cap this off? What treat does the NFL have for us? The cherry on top of this great week. 3-5-1 Cowboys at 2-7 Raiders.
Danny who? Danny Woodhead. He's from Chadron State, don't you know? Let's hear it for Danny Woodhead. Where's he from? Chadron State.
Is this not the exact reason the flex was invented, Cerrone?
Yes.
And they're not going to flex the Cowboys out of primetime. They never will. I understand that. But
yeah. But, I mean, you could have done it with Kansas City and Denver.
That's right. You could have put Kansas City in.
You could put the team, like you mentioned, with all the Super Bowls. You could have put them in the primetime spot. But no, you're going to go with the Cowboys and the Raiders. Like, two fan bases that don't deserve to watch this.
Look, it is the highest total of the week. So maybe we get some fun there. 50 points. Cowboys favored by 3.5.
If Cowboys 49, the Raiders nothing. But give me the Cowboys in this one. Raiders, they look good in spots during the game, and then 5 minutes later, they look terrible. I don't know what to expect from them, but give me the Cowboys to win this
Give me the Cowboys. They had a bad loss, then a bye. It's going to be an emotional game. It's the first time they're playing since the passing of Marshawn Nealand. I think they come out with that. Obviously, heavy hearts all around there. But I do think Cowboys win this game and win it convincingly.
Yeah. I mean, they're just a better team with the better quarterback. How did the Patriots lose to this Raiders team? I do.
Week one's weird. I said it. Did we not spend half the show on that? And 2 years in a row, they beat the Bengals last year in week one. Next year, when the schedule comes out and we're doing the picks, whatever I think is going to happen week one, I'm picking the opposite.
But looking back at this schedule, this Patriots team actually should be undefeated right now. They should not have lost to the Steelers either. I don't know. I'm sorry.
September's weird. Week one's very weird. September's always weird. It's the feeling out process. Anyway, buys this week, the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints, and that is week 11. I want to talk a little bit more about some of these games that impact the Patriots. We'll do that next here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff coming up on the Sports Hub.
All season, teams make
Bills have won it. And it's all botched up in the AFC as the Chiefs suffer a fourth loss. They're third in their own division now.
So I just wanted to kind of take a bigger picture look here with some awesome games today and games that impact the Patriots. And how awesome is it, Cerrone, that we get to do this again? We're watching other games not for draft positioning. We're not watching the worst teams in the league hoping they win. We're watching some of the best teams in the league hoping they lose or against each other. It's a nice change of pace, but I thought, having the Patriots be off today and having this awesome slate, just, a good chance to kind of take stock of the big picture. If you haven't seen the playoff picture, Patriots have the best record in the AFC, best record in the NFL, the best record in the AFC at 9-2, Colts and Broncos at 8-2, Steelers at 5-4 is the division winner. The wild card picture: Chargers are 7-3, Bills are 6-3, Jags are 5-4 on the bubble. Chiefs are 5-4, Texans are 4-5, Ravens are 4-5. I'll even include the Bengals at 3-6, given Joe Burrow could come back. Here's where I'm at. I don't see any team in the AFC that is definitively better than the Patriots. Yeah. I don't look at any of those teams and say anytime, any place, anywhere, they're going to beat New England. Now, I don't know how many of those teams New England is definitively better than. I think they're like Jacksonville, they're definitively better than. I think what Houston's looked like this year, they're definitively better than. If Denver is what I think Denver is, they're definitively better than Denver. But the Bills, it's a toss-up. The Ravens, a toss-up. The Chiefs are interesting. The Chiefs are the one team, we'll see what they do today, that I might change my tone about on that.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to learn a lot. And Matt McCarthy made an interesting point yesterday when I was on with him. So we're all looking at, 2-3, Denver and Indy. There's a big gap between the teams that are, the two-loss teams and everybody else. But he's more scared of the teams that are out of the playoffs right now. Kansas City at 5-4, Baltimore at 4-5, Buffalo's in, but Buffalo at 6-3. And you could end up in this weird spot where if the Patriots get the 2 seed, or if they even get the 1 seed, right, and then they get the bye, and one of those teams goes on the road in wild card weekend and wins, your reward for this great season is your first playoff game is against Buffalo or Kansas City or Baltimore. So it's going to be really interesting to see these teams today and how it shakes out. And do you root for, as a Patriots fan, do you root for Kansas City because you want Denver to get a loss and you get that game up on them potentially for the bye? Or do you root for the Broncos because you just don't want Kansas City lurking in the dance?
You absolutely root for the Broncos. I take my chances with Drake May against Bo Nix in the playoff game. Don't matter where they play. I mean, the conditions are going to be the same, whatever. You get the home field. But the Patriots undefeated on the road as well. He's played in hostile environments at Buffalo, Tampa. I'll take my chances with that. Pat Mahomes, you don't want to see Pat Mahomes in the refs in January. I want nothing to do with that. Patriots struggles with tight ends. I don't want to see Travis Kelce in the playoff situation on third down. I don't want to see that at all. And I want to see Kansas City just get, put to bed. That's it. I want to see them done with. And I don't think they're a great team. I think we're caught up in their reputation and name, not just with them, but with the same with Baltimore and Buffalo. I think it's Mahomes. It's Jackson. It's like I said this early in the year. I think what we saw the Patriots do, what we saw Tom Brady do, it made people think that being dominant in the NFL is forever. And it's not. And the windows open and they close. He can still be a great individual player. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers.
Rodgers.
You can be a great individual player, but the Super Bowl runs in your window, it's not because sometimes you fall off. It's that the younger team with the new crop of quarterbacks, they take over and take your spot. And I think we're seeing it around the league. And I saw this earlier on and tweeted about it. Like, look, man, these things don't last forever. Mahomes is going to be great, but the retool is coming. They're going to have to flip that roster. And Buffalo, yeah, they're good, but they're steadily losing pieces and they're not as dominant on both sides as they once were. The Ravens, their style of play, it's like Lamar Jackson. How many hits is he going to take? How long are you expecting Derrick Henry to be great? and then it's like they still don't have anything around them. So I think we're caught up in the names of those teams, but I want to see them put away, and see the Patriots get home field and take my chances against Bo Nix and Daniel Jones in the playoffs, no matter where they play. But I want to see Kansas City done with and out.
The other ones here, I mean, Buffalo, Tampa, it's another big game for the Patriots, but obvious there, you're rooting for Tampa if you're the Patriots. Not only does it help in the division, but also takes a little chunk out of the easy schedule conversation. You say you beat the Bucs. Bengals, Steelers. Kind of the same thing, just watered down a little bit. The Steelers are still a divisional winner at 5-4. Bengals lurking at 6-3. Do you want the AFC North to become a dogfight, or do you want the Bengals pushed further down?
Just get rid of the Bengals too. Get them out of there. I would love to see the Steelers play the Patriots in the playoffs and just get that matchup again. I think that's a bye week. I think they'll smoke the Steelers if they play them again. So just go in and get the Bengals out. I think the offense is too good, and you don't want them lingering around and feeling good about themselves. And all of a sudden, everybody gets magically healthy now that they're winning. Joe Burrow comes back. Defense is back 100%. Everybody's feeling good about themselves. They're just too dangerous offensively to have them lurk. Let the Steelers go in and get that spot and let them be a doormat to whoever they face.
Let me add a quick angle to that, though. So I think it's safe to say the Ravens will probably beat the Browns. Mm-hmm. Now the Ravens are 5-5. And now the Ravens are maybe that division. If they're 5-5 and the Steelers are 5-5, I don't know as the tiebreaker, but like, who would you can keep one of the two out, Ravens or Bengals? Who is it better for the Patriots to have out?
Bengals.
So
I keep getting the Bengals out. Okay. The Ravens, I think the Ravens style of play plays right into the Patriots' strengths.
All right.
The way they stop the run, the way they just take the run away from you. You take the run away from the Ravens. It's the reason the Ravens haven't won the Super Bowl in the last 3 years. They take the run away and they just stuck. And the Ravens, I've seen Aaron Rodgers win games in the snow and in January when it's cold. I've yet to see Lamar Jackson look good when the temperature drops. It just coming into Foxborough, I'd rather see Aaron Rodgers. Well, excuse me. I'd rather see the Ravens, but I think the Patriots will play better against the Ravens in Foxborough than they would against the Bengals.
I'm going to give you one more. We're way up against it, but I'm going to give you one more quick rooting interest thing here for your Patriots fan today. This is getting way ahead of ourselves. I'm going to throw this out there. You're rooting for the Lions if you're a Patriots fan tonight against the Eagles. Now, and it has nothing to do with the Super Bowls or anything. Bills schedule down the stretch. Bucks, Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, Jets. Eagles week 17. You want the Eagles to be playing for a lot in that game.
Yep. You want them to be active. Yeah.
So rooting to get, you want the Eagles to be in the mix. We're not rooting for them to be out of it entirely, but a loss here in a losable game that maybe puts a little more pressure on them down the stretch. Rooting for the Lions tonight. All right, well, we're well up against it. I want to get to some more big picture Patriots thoughts. We said we're going to kind of do a state of the team here at this natural break in the season. We'll get back to that next on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
Stay tuned for more Sunday Kickoff on the Sports Hub.
Make
May takes the snap. Play fake to Stevenson. May is pressured. Throws it. And he completes it to Diggs. Escapes to the 35. And dives across the 40. The play looked like it was over before it began. And Drake May found Stephon Diggs once again for a first down for the Patriots outside the 40.
Mom, I don't know if Allen could have done that. I'm serious.
Razzle-dazzle from the Patriots offense back here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle. Taking up until 11 o'clock today. That's right. We've got a bonus hour, so hang tight. And we're going to spend some of this extra time. We're usually so focused on the game that day, which I'm not opposed to doing, but it's a little bit of a different format for us here. We're going to have a couple of these weird ones because we got Monday Night Football in a few weeks. So it'll still be a pregame show, but it'll be a little further out. But I figured we'd take this opportunity to go a little big picture. So I want to rapid fire through some stuff here, Cerrone. Let's do a little report card. Mid-ish season, 11 weeks out of 18. Mid-ish season report card here. We'll just go position by position. And I want to put an important qualifier on this. We're going to go versus expectations. So, the grade factors in how well they've done compared to what you thought they would do coming into the year. That leaves a little more room. So an A doesn't necessarily mean like they're the best in their league at the position, but it's so far above and beyond what you wanted to see from them. Yeah. We'll do it that way. Start with the quarterback. And I think this is an easy one. It's an A.
Yeah, it's an A.
It's an A.
It's A plus.
So A or A plus? Where are we going?
Yeah, I got to go A plus. I mean, A would be May. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Yep, that's a good season. That's an A. A plus, the dude's leading the way in MVP votes. I mean, MVP, odds. That's A plus type stuff that no one saw that coming at all.
So that one was easy. Get us rolling there. This one's a little trickier. How would you and we'll factor into this. We're not going to do a coaching grade. We'll factor in the way each position is coached and used. Like it's going to be built into all of this. How about the running backs?
Ooh, that's it. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say, well, man, we talked earlier how they lose to the Steelers and Raiders early on. I think you got to go back and look at the running game early in the season. The turnovers against the Steelers, I think that keeps them from getting a really, really high grade. But overall, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give those guys. They've had their moments. I'm gonna give them a B minus. I think they've been slightly better than okay, and Henderson's coming along, so I'm gonna give them a B minus.
Yeah, so I was gonna say C plus. And I think there's some extremes there. Now, they're trending in the right direction. I'll say this. We'll throw some recency bias in here, too. Yeah. Because it is the NFL, so what have you done for me lately, league?
Yep.
Travion Henderson's last couple games help him. I'll say C plus. I think that overall, it's probably about what I expected, but it's a lot more, like there's extremes of it. They haven't been consistent. Yeah. So I'll say C plus. Wide receiver.
Oh, man. Considering the expectations coming into the season, I'm going to have to put them way up, man. B plus, maybe even an A. Because I didn't think you'd see stretches where each guy is taking their turns, lighting it up. You've seen Pop Douglas have his big game. You've seen, Stephon Diggs have his big moments. Keyshawn Booty's having his moments. And Matt Collins, I think, has been a fan favorites kind of star with this team. He's had his big moments. I'm going to have to give them, maybe an A minus or B plus. Really good unit.
I was going to say B plus. Little inconsistent at times early on as a whole, the group. Yeah. And then, I'd like to see Kyle Williams get going. That would have been an A to me. It's like, oh, and you got the rookie developed, which has been the thing they've struggled to do. Mm-hmm. That would have been the A. But I'll give them a B plus. They've been good. I feel good about that. B plus, certainly. For the wide receivers. This is another tricky one. Tight ends. Where you at with tight ends? Throw fullbacks in there too. Tight ends and fullbacks.
Well, they're right where I thought they would be. So, I mean, they're what I expected. They've been solid. So I'm not going to, a B minus. They've been good. They've been as expected going into the season. I think they've lived up to whatever expectation they had. I don't think they had high expectations, but I think they've been a good unit.
They've done less. Hunter Henry's done less, but I don't think it's him playing worse. I just think for the last few years, he was kind of the only option.
The only guy.
And now he's not. And they're able to spread the ball out more, but he's come up with big catches when they've needed him to. Mm-hmm. I go B minus. We're in sync here. This is something. And I'm writing these down before you're saying them. I go B minus for a couple of reasons. One, the blocking has not been great, both pass blocking and run blocking. And like I said, tight end and fullback, that's one room. Look, the Kairos Tonga thing's been fun, but Jack Westover's not. He's gotten better. I still don't think he's a true fit in that role, and it's cost him at times. It's part of the reason their run game has struggled at times.
Yeah.
Fullback is going to be on the list of needs this offseason, unless I guess they do still have Brock Lampy on IR. Maybe he gets healthy and they just go to him next year. But I'll go B minus. Like they've been, it's a solid passing grade. This is me. Everybody's parents are a little different. If I got a B minus, I felt happy going home. I knew I wasn't going to really get in too much trouble. That was kind of the cutoff. So wasn't great. Wasn't great, but I took it. It was enough to get me through to another semester, another report card. So I'm going to B minus. They've been fine. They've been fine. Here's the big one: offensive line.
Okay, this one
is a complicated one.
It's very, very complicated, and it's almost like you got to do individual grades with these guys. But as a unit, I think going into the season, the whole offseason, the offensive line was the main conversation. You know, are we moving pieces around? Could the tackles hold up? What's going on at the center position? And you look at the stats, Drake May's been sacked one of the highest in the league, if not the highest, whatever. But on the flip side, it's like this offensive line has been steady. They've been pretty consistent. It's like, okay, Miles Garrett got to him. Yeah, he's got to everybody. And there's certain defensive lines that have been good all season. But Drake May is not completing 70% of his passes, and his receiver group isn't looking as good if the offensive line hasn't been as steady as they've been. I think they could be better against the run, which we thought would be their strength going into the season. But overall, again, considering what the expectations was, I'm going to have to say B minus with them as well. I think they've been better than advertised. They've been consistent, and they can get the sacks down a little bit, but I don't know how much of that is Drake May as opposed to them. But I think they've been overall pretty consistent unit. I'm going to give them a B minus.
So it's funny, you said at the beginning there, like you have to calculate it for the different guys, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's by situation to me.
Yep.
I almost feel like it's by situation where it's the pass blocking I'd give like a B plus. You're right.
Yep.
Like guys like Myles Garrett have gotten them, and the last couple weeks have been shaky, and that drags it down. But I'd go B plus. The run blocking, I thought they'd be a great run blocking line, and they really haven't been. Patriots are 27th in the league in yards per carry, and I don't think a lot of that's on the running backs. So that to me, they're like a D plus, C minus.
Yeah,
run blocking. So it nets out to me to a B minus or a B is probably where I'd put them. Wait, I just threw in offensively threw in a GPA calculator here. 3.06. That's not great. But if you weight the quarterback, I might put you on the honor roll.
Yeah.
Well, and it's Drake May kind of carrying it, which is sort of what we expected coming in. All right, let's do defense here. Defensive line. How would you grade the defensive line this year?
Oh, I think the defensive line has been good. I think we measure a lot of that with sacks. We look at like teams like Denver got a ton of sacks. But when you go majority of the season, the vast majority, and nobody's getting 50 yards on you, that's a dominant D line up front. I think the D tackles have been as good as better than advertised because Milton Williams, remember, a lot of people kind of question him because like we only had that one good moment in the Super Bowl. He's a pass rusher and stuff like that. What's he going to do in the early downs? They're not allowing running backs to light them up. And yep, they've had bad schedules. They've played very good running backs and have kept them all in check. So I'm going to have to give the D line a good positive B plus.
Yeah, I go B plus. I'd like to see a little more production in the pass rush in terms of the sacks, but the pressure's been there. They've been great against the run. And now look, there's a test coming up without Milton Williams. Yeah, but I'll give him a B plus there. Linebackers.
I think they've been good. I don't know what the expectation was coming in. I know they spent money on Spillane. I know it wasn't really a strength of theirs for the last few years. But I think the linebackers have been good and been coming along, I think. And they've been the ones, I wouldn't say forcing the turnovers, but they've been kind of the ones making the big plays and getting the big stops. And I'm going to have to give them a B because I think they've been better than advertised. And they play a huge part in controlling these running backs and not letting them get off and have big nights. So I got to give them as much credit as I gave the D-line. I'm going to give them a B as well.
Yeah, I'm like B minus B. They had a little bit of a slow start. They've gotten better. They've had some trouble in coverage, but beyond that, I mean, they've been really good against the run here the last couple of weeks. I'll give them a B. This is again where the versus expectations comes in.
Yeah,
cornerbacks.
Because of the high expectations going in,
yeah,
I might dock them the most. I think I'll put them as a C.
Ooh.
A C or C plus, because I think there's been stretches where Carlton Davis has got burnt. I think Gonzalez's injury early in the season is the only reason this team isn't really undefeated. I think they beat the Steelers and Raiders if he's out there, and some of those things that happened in that game. I think them being banged up, the safety situation with some injuries here or there, I'm gonna give them a C plus. But again, Carlton Davis, as much as he looks like he's getting burnt, he's really not at all. I think he's giving up like 25 yards a game or something like that. And Gonzalez is Gonzalez. But I think going into it, we thought this would be one of the best secondaries in football, and I don't think they've been that just yet. So I'm gonna have to give them a C plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say B minus, C plus. The one thing that pumps it up for me, Marcus Jones has been awesome.
Oh yeah, true.
Marcus Jones kind of saves the grade, but I wouldn't push back on a C plus. I was gonna say B minus, but I wouldn't push back on a C plus. Safeties.
Safety up and down. I think they've been good. They haven't been cooked on the deep ball. They haven't been cooked on the big plays. I don't, I think the safeties are going to be really good as time goes on, but I think right now I think they've been as expected, not really dominant, but not bad either. I'm gonna give them. They haven't been getting cooked, so I'm gonna give them a B minus.
See, I'm gonna give them a B plus. I
haven't been burned.
Think they've been. And when you consider, this is where the verse expectation thing comes in. Their starting safeties in camp were Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar.
Yep.
Neither one of those guys is here.
Yep.
It's a rookie and a guy who has kind of, gone in and out of starting roles in his NFL career, and Jalen Hawkins, who's played well. Like, he's stepped up, and Woodson has obviously stepped up, and it hasn't been perfect, but I was kind of worried about their safety position coming out of camp. And like you said, they haven't been burned. They've had their miscues. Yeah, Craig Woodson fell down on Thursday. That's not great. It hasn't been perfect. I'll go B plus. I am pleasantly surprised by what they've gotten out of their safeties, and maybe now Del Pettis is going to come on and make a couple plays for him, which would be cool.
Yeah, I like Woodson a lot. I think they got one with him. I think they really got one. He's a good player.
That was my least favorite pick of the draft, and look, other guys have been good. It's not to say there's a clear worst pick. I guess Braden Swinson didn't make the team, although he's on the roster now. But I didn't see it on Craig Woodson the way they saw it. So credit. That's why I'm here and they're there. Right? That is good. It looks like to get him where they got him. If this is kind of the track he's going to be on, he's going to be a starting safety. You got him in the 4th round, and it's going to go down as a great pick. It's going to go down as one of the better picks in this draft, probably, for the Patriots anyway. Special teams, final one, special teams.
I think they've been good. I think do they have the most returns, touchdowns in the league? Something like that.
They're
I think
up there,
punts and kickoffs, and Gibson getting hurt was a big blow for them. But I got to give him credit. And the kicking game, I think he had one the other day, but I think overall, I think the kicking game, punting, return game, kickoffs, and punt returns, they've been above average. And I didn't have high expectations coming into the season with them, so I'm gonna give them a B plus. I think they've been a steady unit. I think special teams have been good and hasn't cost them really much this season.
I'm gonna say B plus, or I'm sorry, I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna say A on that. I know that's weird to do after he just missed a field goal, but they had a lot of turnover on that unit, 2 rookies, and after first couple weeks, Borgalis has settled in. Behringer's sneaky been unbelievable this year. Yeah. Hasn't been talked about a lot. There's not a lot of reason to talk about the punter with this team, but he's been really good. I like where they're at. So the Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff Patriots report card: quarterback A plus, running back C plus. Wide receiver, B+. Tight ends, B-. Offensive line, B-. Defensive line, B+. Linebacker, B. Corner, we disagreed. You said C+, I said B-. You're a little bit of a harsher grader here. Safety, you said B-. I said B+. Special teams, you said B-. I'll go A- because he did have some bad misses early in the year.
Yeah.
I'll go at B+, A-. So Drake May maybe skewing the grade a little bit.
It's giving him an honor roll, like you said.
It makes it tough to give anybody else an A when Drake May's on that level. But, man, I do this exercise mid-year every year. It's nice not giving out D's and F's. I'll tell you that.
when you look at it, I don't know where their rankings are right now after this week. Sunday they got one extra game or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're pushing top 5 offense and defense, it's hard to throw around a lot of C's and D's on that. I mean, I don't care who you're playing. Some of these teams, like I said, some of them are good offensive teams, some of them are good defensive teams. Their records aren't there, but you're not playing both sides of the ball. You got to play what's in front of you. Drake May has had to deal with some good pass defenses, and the defense had to deal with good running backs or good receivers. They've had their spots, but overall, to be almost top 5 in both categories, you got to give these guys high grades.
I think it's all fair. I think it's all fair. If you want to weigh in, 617-779-0985. We'll take your calls on that and everything else next on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff is on the way on the Sports Hub. Barth and Cerrone Battle on your station for the best football coverage. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle into bonus time. Third hour of the program. Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff, and we'll start it off with your calls. Start with Jeff in the truck. Jeff.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
So as I look back so far during the season, Milton Williams, he's been a huge pickup for the team. Maybe one of the best free agent pickups since like Stephon Gilmore. IR for 4 weeks.
Yep.
How does the team adjust defensively, scheme wise? Who's picking up his playing time on the field? What are we going to have to see over the next 4 weeks to kind of replace his production that we've seen over the previous 10 games? I'll hang up and listen to you guys talk.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Jeff. It's the question. It's the question for this team right now. I think you obviously, look, he's been a tremendous player. He's a tough loss. If the Patriots are going to get hit with a big loss, defensive tackle's kind of the position where they're best equipped to handle that, right? They have, if it had been an edge player they lost, they have no depth there. You know, they couldn't afford to lose another running back. Obviously, safety, they're very thin. Offensive line, they're thin. So again, tremendous player. Don't want to diminish that. They do have some guys that can step up on the interior. Obviously, start Christian Barmore. He's a tremendous player in his own right.
Yep.
Don't root him out. Don't rule him out in any of this. I know the numbers haven't been what they've been. He's been getting a ton of attention from opposing offenses, and that's part of the reason why Milton Williams has had so much success. Williams has been good in his own right, but teams kind of have to pick their poison. You got to double one or the other, and most teams have chosen to double Christian Barmore. So that will continue, but you saw it happen in the second half of the Jets game. He kind of went to another level on the second half of that game. They're going to need him to keep that. Now, who's playing next to him? That's the question. There's a couple options. My guess is they'll rotate. Kyrus Tonga has gotten off to a really good start this season, especially as a pass rusher. Kind of been a surprise. He hasn't been that player typically in his career, but he does have some pass rush impact in him. Obviously, a good player against the run. My guess is he gets the biggest increase in time. Corey Durden is a player they claimed on waivers late in, I think it was after roster cuts, who has been the next guy up in that rotation. He's the one other defensive tackle that's played semi-regularly. More of a running down player, plays with a very high motor, physical, violent player. My guess is you'll see him a little more. Those are two guys that have exceeded expectations and you feel good about when they're on the field. Now the question is, and this happens sometimes with these guys that are in rotational roles, do they look so good because they're not on the field a ton? And is the limited role kind of helping elevate their game as they play more? Does the level of play drop off? How much does it drop off? The other guys to watch, Joshua Farmer is one of their early day 3 picks. He has not played a ton this year. He's kind of dealt with injuries on and off. He's more of a running down player. He's a guy you'll look for on early downs. And then Eric Gregory, who's another player they got late off waivers. If you go back and look, he was signed as a UDFA out of Arkansas with the Bengals in May. Bengals fans were like livid that the team let him go. And you look at what their defense is right now. He didn't play at all. He was healthy scratch the first 10 weeks. Comes in week 11, first NFL game. First snap he plays, he gets a run stuff. So big dude, 6'3", 320, but can kind of be a multi-situation player. He's an unknown. I wouldn't expect to see him a ton, but another name to know. So that's kind of the quick primer on, all right, Milton Williams is out. Here's the situation. I don't know if you have any other thoughts, but that's kind of those are the names to know. That's the situations, how they'll play out as we move on here.
Well, I think, and also I would add on to it, well, it's a classic situation, the next man up, I think, with them when it comes to that. I think you're going to see similar to what Milton Williams dealt with in Philly last year, just this constant substitutions, in rotations of these D tackles to get guys in. Some guys are great. You mentioned some guys come in and look great in the spots, but being the fatigue, I think, plays a role in how good are you in the fourth quarter after you've been out there several snaps, as opposed to, just coming in on key situations. But I think you also get a kind of a dress rehearsal. I think you get the long break now. You got to figure out where you're at and who's going to get the burn. And you're playing a Bengals and Giants team they're not really dominant on the ground. They want to air it out. They want to throw it all over the place. So your edge rush, I think, will be a little more important in the next 2 weeks. But you kind of get 3 weeks to get it right before you play the Bills with Josh Allen and Cook, and then the Ravens, of course, with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, considering if everybody's healthy. I think that's where you're really going to be tested on that D-line. But I think against these pass-heavy teams you're going to see the next few weeks, it kind of buys you a little time. But I think Barmore's a dominant player. And whoever's next to him is going to get an opportunity to shine. They're going to get their one-on-one chance to shine and see if they're worthy enough to be, NFL caliber player, starting player, or get more time in the rotation as the time goes on. But I think you're in a good place. Again, next man up. And it's like you mentioned, the one position where they might actually have some depth and they can afford to take a injury for a few weeks.
Look, you'll notice a difference. It's not to say you won't notice a difference.
Oh, you will.
I don't think this is again, an injury at another position. We might has the potential for things to really fall apart. I don't think the defense entirely falls apart without Milton Williams.
Yeah.
The other big area is the secondary. I kind of talked about this earlier. There's probably it hasn't been all the time, but more times than you want that the pass rush has bailed out the secondary, and you can't count on that as much. So really where I'm looking for people to step up and play better instead of just different guys coming in is in the secondary. But that Bills game, to your point, Cerrone, is the big one. The combo of the athleticism of Milton Williams and Christian Barmore was too much for the Bills' offensive line. It was too much for Josh Allen. It was a big part of the reason the Patriots won that game. Now, they still have Barmore. So, and he's gotten in Josh Allen's head. He's been a problem for Josh Allen in the past. But you don't have both guys, and that hurts. That, to me, is the big blow there.
But I would add, too, the Bengals game. We all know that offense is explosive. But if it's Flacco, if it's Burrow, either one's not going to – they're not going to get out of the pocket.
Right. It's a little
different. The one way you want to get at Joe Flacco at this stage of his career is in his face up the middle. And if you're not getting pressure up the middle and he's allowed to just stand there and scan the field, he's going to pick you apart. And I think I know I said the Bills and the Ravens game because of their running ability.
Yeah.
But if you're not getting any pressure in Joe Flacco's or Joe Burrow's face, it's going to be a long night for that secondary. So we're going to find out pretty quickly, about the pass rush aspect of the D tackles.
And that's where, again, you talk about Christian Barmore, and it's really a lot like let Christian Barmore stepping up here. That's what's going to help this the most. Is if Christian Barmore takes his game to another level, which we know he can do. Like we've seen him play at that level.
Before the injuries, he was an 8-sack guy, wasn't he? A D tackle?
Yeah. And now they were playing a different system too. This system's maybe a little more conducive to the way he wants to play. So we'll see what he can do. Speaking of that Patriots-Bills matchup, Noah in New Hampshire has a thought on that. Noah, good morning.
Hey, I was wondering, do you guys think that because the Patriots have had so many wins nonstop, they're both young guys and they don't really know, they don't have the team experience that some of these veterans guys do, like Diggs. So is their confidence going to be super, super high compared to Buffalo? Because Buffalo's pissed. They're going to be ready to go on Sunday. But are the Patriots, are they going to be like, do they realize what's coming for them is basically what I'm trying to say.
It's a fair question, Noah. Look, as we get late in the year, it is going to be fair to talk about this as a young team. It's a lot of guys that are in this kind of spot for the first time. How are they going to handle it? It is tough. It is very difficult to beat a team twice in the NFL in a season. You don't see that very often. That's where you bank on the coaching staff. And it's a coaching staff that's been there. Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, like these are guys that have been down this road, and it's going to be on the coaching staff to keep them level-headed and get them ready. They've done it so far. For a young team to rip off this kind of winning streak, regardless of opponents, is impressive. But I think that's where you look to the coaching staff to make sure that they're where they need to be mentally.
And one thing I will say about this team, they are young in certain spots.
Yeah.
But each position has a veteran guy. On the D-line, you got Moses over there. Stevenson, I know he's been around as a running back. Stephon Diggs on the outside. Even I can't think of the receiver from the Bills that for the Patriots now. No shoes.
Mac Hollins.
He's been around. He played in Buffalo. He's been in big game moments and big playoff moments. And on the defensive side, Carlton Davis, he was in Tampa. I believe he was there when Brady was there and they won the Super Bowl. So he's been around. they got guys that have experience that can be in the meetings, be in each individual room, preparing these guys how to, handle big game and big moments. These guys, a lot of these individual guys have been in very big games, big moments. Milton Williams, Super Bowl, he's been there.
Right.
So just having a guy on each level of offense and defense with that kind of experience, I think was a huge add to this team in the offseason. And I think it plays a huge role to where they're at now.
Culture setting. This is where the culture of the program comes in big. Tony in Canada, what do you got for us?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Speaking about culture, I want to be the first to congratulate Mike Vrabel on winning Coach of the Year. But, no, I think he's got it. It's a lock. I don't know about Drake, but because I think quarterback position is a little bit different, but I don't know. I don't think there's if things continue, he's got that locked up. And you know what? Real quick, one thing I want to talk about, kind of to do with Drake and Vrabel, is how that affects not just the culture, but in terms of the environment for future players coming here, like the big name free agents. Yep. Mm-hmm. Do you remember how we used to talk about the suck tax and how we'd have to pay over and above for those wide receivers, those big name wide receivers and other players? If this continues the way it is, regardless of how things go in the playoffs, I think that's one of the biggest changes moving forward, that, we have a possibility to lock up those players. So, and that's about all. I'm going to listen to this show. Go Pats. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Mike Vrabel, actually, so I was going to say, last time I checked, Mike Vrabel is not the favorite for Coach of the Year. I think this flipped recently. He is. According to DraftKings, he's plus 100. Shane Steichen is plus 190. Mike McDonald in Seattle's plus 380. After that, Ben Johnson, very long odds. But, yeah, I mean, Vrabel should be the favorite. To his other point about the perception, now, look, I don't think you're going to get guys that – you're not going to get the Brady discount anymore, where guys are coming here for less. Right. But they should be a competitive destination in free agency. David Andrews has talked a lot about this on our podcast, and he brought it up on Felger and Maz on Friday. If you haven't checked that out, the interview is on the Sports Hub YouTube channel, that part of the reason coming on, like, he had that shoulder injury, he had to go through a whole lot of rehab, and part of the reason he wanted to come back was to play for Drake May. Mm-hmm. And play with Drake May, and he kind of saw the potential there with Drake. And yeah, Drake May is going to be a draw. Mike Vrabel is going to be a draw, undoubtedly. This is not going to be, 2 years ago they had a lucrative offer, or reportedly they had a lucrative offer on the table for Brandon Ayuk, and he said he didn't want to come here. Ultimately, that worked out for the Patriots because he hasn't been very good since. But they're going to be a place I think players want to play. I think that's absolutely fair.
And if you're an offensive player and your contract is up, I guarantee you're looking over at the Patriots and looking over, see with the money they have available and that quarterback, same tight ends, running backs, receivers, they're all going to be looking. Offensive linemen are looking. The team doesn't have much depth on the offensive line. They're going to have a lot of people calling their agents, hitting up the Patriots. I don't think Elliott Wolf is going to have a tough time next year at all trying to get talent on this team. And in some spots, they might look back and say, nah, man, we full. We good over here. You just don't know. But I think they're going to be in a great position next offseason to make a huge jump. I know I don't want to get too far ahead, but in comparisons, like people comparing them to the 0-1 Patriots. The 0-1 Patriots team, we looked at it and said, man, that is a great team. They won it. Didn't look at them as a team with a lot of talent. You fast forward to what they were in 03-04, when they was able to add the Corey Dillons and Rodney Harrisons and all those pieces. Then you said, that's a great football team there. I think they're going to have a situation where they're going to be able to take that jump to where they're like, man, how are they doing it to? We expect them to be a good team because of the talent that they're going to add the next couple of years.
All right, producer Ryan Garvin has put together some Patriots mid-season mini-buy superlatives for us. We'll get to those next here as we continue the bonus hour of Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff coming up on the Sports Hub. Too early to talk football on Sunday.
Coming to the game on Sunday.
This is Sunday Kickoff with Alex Barth and Cerrone Battle on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right. Again, extra hour Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle. We figured since we had some extra time, take a big picture look at this Patriots season so far and looking ahead. So Ryan Garvin has some superlatives for us that we're going to pick here. Instead of our usual game picks, because obviously we have no game to pick. The Patriots have already played. They've already won. So, Ryan, we'll start off kind of looking at what's happened so far, and then we'll get into what we're looking for the second half. So, Ryan, go ahead, get us started.
Yes, of course, guys. We cannot look ahead until we look back at what the Patriots have done this season. Let's hand out some superlatives, gentlemen. We will start with your favorite win of the year. Alex Barth, let's start with you. What was your favorite Patriots win of the year?
I don't know how it's not Buffalo. I mean, that was when this thing kind of cranked up to, oh no, they're not just better, they're good. And they might be really good. So, look, the Tampa win was fun. And that one maybe holds a little more weight just because Tampa's, and we'll see what happens, say, when those two teams play each other. But, yeah, I don't know how you don't say the Bills.
I'm not going to say the Bills.
Okay. We can double up on these. I think that's fair.
The one that stands out to me was my favorite. I know people are going to probably chuckle. Week 2, Dolphins. I think going down to Miami after losing to the Raiders, going down to Miami, is Drake. We're still questioning Drake May at this point. We're still questioning Stephon Diggs. The whole team was like, man, they go 0-2, then you got to play the Steelers. They went down there. Drake May, I think it was 19 for 22. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 2 in the air. The kick return, there was so many things that happened in that game. They put up 30, and the only reason they didn't score more, I think, was the Dolphins killed a lot of clock in between. But I thought that was the first time I remember, like, wait a minute, this offense is actually moving the ball in Miami, something they just don't do. And I thought that was a big coming out party for Drake May, and is one of the games that stands out to me the most.
That's a sneaky important one. You're right, because if they'd lost that, and they almost did, where does guys start to let go of the rope? Is it, oh boy, here we go again with that? That was an important win.
It was also their first 30-plus game in, I think, like 9 or 10 games or something. And the fact that they did it in a place where they historically don't play well, I think is fairly significant too.
Yeah.
Moving right along, Patriots had a busy offseason. We are going to look at your favorite free agent signing. Cerrone, let's start with you. Favorite free agent signing for the Patriots?
Without a doubt, man. Matt Collins. I think he's just so he's going to be a character we remember with this team for a long time. I think I don't think people had pretty much no high expectations with him, but I think he's been so money and so clutch for this team. I think he's been a good guy in the locker room. He's developing a reputation off the field. The thing he did the other day with the T-shirt with the suicide hotline, stuff like that on it. I think he's going to be one of those characters. If this team goes on to win a Super Bowl, which I hope they do, he's going to be one of those guys you remember from a lot of the teams in Boston that wins championships. That's not really a star, but is a character and a very important piece to the team. I think Matt Collins has been huge for this team so far.
I'm going to go Diggs. Like, Milton Williams probably been the best player from that free agent class, but you look at the intangibles that Diggs has added, the leadership, what he's done for Drake May's growth, all of that. And do you remember at the time, so they lost out on Chris Godwin, and then it was like, well, no, Cooper Kupp. You got to go get Cooper Kupp and Josh McDaniels' offense. Cooper Kupp hasn't been bad this year. And there was somebody else there, but he won at that point. It was Devontae Adams.
It was DK Metcalf, too.
I was in on DK Metcalf. I wanted Metcalf. But after Metcalf, Diggs. Diggs was my guy, and he's lived up to crazy expectations. Again, 31 years old, coming off the torn ACL, and doing this is insane. So, best free agent signing, I think, is Milton Williams. But if you ask me my favorite, and I've always been a fan of Diggs going back to his time in Buffalo, I don't think he got nearly enough credit for the ascension Josh Allen and that team made. People thought he was great. I thought he was underrated. And that's not to say people didn't think he was good. I don't think he got nearly enough credit. Is he the same player he was then? No. But is he having a similar kind of impact here?
Yes.
early. Yeah, kind of. So I've loved what he's been.
We are all enjoying the Stephon Diggs honeymoon period. Now, these can't all be positive and wonderful. Sometimes we do have to get a little bit critical here. We just talked about your favorite free agent signing. Alex Barth, let's start with you. What has been your most underwhelming free agent signing for the Patriots?
Well, if we go all the way back to the spring, they signed Wes Schweitzer to be maybe the starting left guard, and he retired after minicamp.
I was thinking about naming this the Wes Schweitzer Memorial Award.
Among guys who, I thought Marcus Epps might carve out a role too, and he didn't make the team. If we talk about guys who made the team, I think it's Carlton Davis by default because a lot of these signings have hit. I don't think Carlton Davis has been as bad as some people have made it out to be, but he hasn't been quite the player I thought he would be either. So I'd say Carlton Davis.
Yeah, I got the same there. Carlton Davis. I can't really look at anybody else that they've signed and say, man, they've been bad. And Carlton Davis hasn't been bad. I think there was that stretch where Gonzalez was out. We was expecting more out of him.
Right.
And he just didn't get it at times. But I think Carlton Davis is the one, even though I agree with you. I don't think he's been that bad at all.
I think if we were going to do most underwhelming player, and not just free agent signings, everybody. And he had a good game Thursday night, so maybe he's starting to trend in the right direction. But Mike Onwenu, I was kind of looking for a little more from him this year. Maybe Ramondre Stevenson. I know he's been banged up. He's been up and down. I'd maybe throw those guys in there too. But again, Onwenu really good on Thursday night, so maybe that's a good sign.
Now, it's taken a lot of effort from a lot of different players, coaches, personnel to make this Patriots team 9-2, the juggernaut that they seem to be so far. But sometimes some guys get, left out a little bit. Not everyone can be Drake May or Mike Vrabel. So, Cerrone, let's start with you. Who is your most unsung hero for the Patriots this season?
Garrett Bradbury, the center.
That's a good one.
I think coming into it, we were questioning him. What are they doing? He was bad in these situations last year. The fact that we don't even mention this dude's name, and he shows how steady he's been. I think Bradbury's been a huge addition to this team and very much underrated. Doesn't get enough attention. I don't even know what he looks like if you walk by me right now. No one shows his face. You play Madden, he just has a silhouette. I don't even know what he looks like. But give it to Garrett Bradbury. I think he's been huge for this team.
So I was thinking of going Marcus Jones here, but I don't know. When you get a big 3-year contract extension, does that count as unsung hero?
I mean, you yourself just said he's having an incredible year.
Yeah, I don't think so. So
that is sung for sure.
I'm going to stay on the offensive line. Morgan Moses. For all the talk about left tackle, Will Campbell. Morgan Moses just shown up. What is he, 34, 35 years old, and played good, steady football. Is he going to be an all-pro? Probably not. But he has been the best, when you're talking about the offensive line, you can kind of say this about corner too, but really the offensive line. When you're talking about the offensive line, set it and forget it players. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for. Guys that are just there, and you don't have to talk about them during the season for them to necessarily be good. Morgan Moses, again, is 34. He's going to be 35 in March, 34 years old. And we were worried a little bit in camp. Remember, he was getting maintenance days and things like that. And, is he going to be ready to go? Is his age going to catch up to him? And he started 11 games, and he's been solid. So he deserves, and there's so much focus on Campbell. I get it. He's the first-round pick.
Yeah.
But Morgan Moses has been rock solid for them.
I would also like to point out, not necessarily a player, but going into the season, the Patriots had their established defensive coordinator in Terrell Williams, and that inevitably did not end up happening through the health stuff that he's dealing with. I think Zach Orr deserves a ton of credit and does not get nearly enough for the job that he has done. You show up day one, and then all of a sudden you're in charge of everything. That is a very daunting task. So I got to credit Zach Orr for the job this defense has done this year.
Really good. All right, we got one more here looking back before we go look forward.
Yeah, sure. Let us do your favorite, Barth, your favorite Drake May play/moment.
Ooh, favorite. I mean, I'll go to, I kind of said this with the Bills game where it was that's when you realize this is different and they're not just better, but they're maybe more than better. They're good. They might be special. There was a play in that game where I had the same feeling about Drake May, and it's the throw rolling to his right to hit Stephon Diggs, 40 yards down the field on the sideline. It's a great catch from Stephon Diggs, too. I mean, that play, I thought it was incomplete when I saw it on TV because he's cut off by a sideline. And I think just 3 years of bad Patriots football, I'm like, all right, deep shot doesn't work. Great. And I saw I caught him like, oh, wow. I was not expecting that. Hello. And then he's like made regular plays like that since, like for what that play is to make it regularly. I keep going back to that moment as the moment that Drake May kind of hit, like that's when the Drake May thing kind of started. That's when he went from, all right, he's going to have a year or two leap to, oh, it's going to be a leap.
Yeah, for me, it was the Saints game. When he went into New Orleans and it was bombs away. And it was one of those where you picked up the phone and started calling people like, man, did you see that? Like even some of the incompletions of some plays that passes were dropped or whatever. But the way he was slinging that ball in the dome like that, it was like, wait a minute. And he made a touchdown to Booty on the move where he just put it right over the defender's shoulder, right by his helmet. And they kind of fought for the ball in the end zone. But the way he was throwing the ball and got Pop Douglas going early in that game, and I said, wait a minute, he's throwing it downfield like this on the money. That's when I started calling friends and family like, man, yo, please tell me you're watching what this kid is doing with the football. And it's been consistent ever since.
All right, we've got some looking forward superlatives as well. The second half, if you want to call it, not quite post-buy, post-mini-buy. We'll do those next here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
Stay tuned for more Sunday Kickoff on the Sports Hub. Give the gift. and swings right leg. Every football game starts with the kickoff. This is Sunday Kickoff with Alex Barth and Cerrone Battle on your home for Patriots football. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle. Ryan Garvin has some superlatives for us. We just went and looked back. If you missed any of it, you want to check it out. Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff, wherever you get your podcasts, also on the Sports Hub YouTube channel. But we got some superlatives looking forward as well, what we can expect over the next 6 games, 7 weeks of the New England Patriots season. Garvin, what do you got?
Yes, of course. Barth, let's start with you on this one. Which Patriots player has the most to prove in the second half of the season?
Oh, is it weird to say Drake May? Like, he's proven a ton, but also, like...
I mean, the odds-on MVP favorite? Well, yeah, I think he has. I absolutely think he has something to prove.
Like, right.
He's the hype real.
He's the odds-on favorite, but it's not by a lot. I don't think it's by a lot. Let me pull it up on DraftKings here. I have it right here. He's actually... So as we sit here right now, he's tied. I didn't see this shift. He's tied on DraftKings with Matthew Stafford at plus 235, Patrick Mahomes at plus 500, Jonathan Taylor's at plus 650. Sam Darnold should be higher. We talked about this earlier, that Rams-Seahawks game, what comes out of that. I want to see him finish it. I don't want this to be just a fun 2 months and that was the flash in the pan. So he's maybe not the most to prove, the most to live up to. Maybe the most to prove is... Ramondre Stevenson, when he gets back healthy and getting back in the rotation, proving he can be that 1A, 1B with Travion Henderson. I don't know. I feel bad saying Drake May has something to prove. That's probably not the best way to put it, but like finish it, right? Like, this is all fun, but if this is it, I don't want to just like look back on it at this being it. Like, I feel like there should be more ahead of him.
I'm going to have to re-engrave this trophy now. Cerrone, who do you got?
I was going to say Ramondre Stevenson. I think a lot of people looking at Travion Henderson and his success, what he's done the last few weeks. Oh, that's it. We don't need Stevenson anymore. I think he has a lot to prove, and I think he's going to be a huge part of this team in the second half of the season. And I want to see him get back to playing his best football. I think he should be a little fresh right now since he had a little time off. But I think Ramondre Stevenson, a lot of people are going to be looking at him and seeing what he's got going on. But real quick, did you say Patrick Mahomes is second or third in MVP?
He's third. He's plus. So
wow.
That's crazy.
It's the Patrick Mahomes industrial complex, right? Drake May plus 235, Matt Stafford plus 235, Mahomes plus 500, Jonathan Taylor plus 650, Josh Allen plus 750.
Over Taylor?
Sam Darnold plus 1,200. Add a layer to the fraud bowl, Cerrone. Add a layer to the fraud bowl.
But like statistically, is he even at Mahomes? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But all right, it is what it is.
Well, speaking of frauds, we did mention some of these teams that the Patriots will be seeing before the year is over. Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. But we can only pick one. Cerrone, your most anticipated game left on the schedule for the Patriots.
This will come as a shock. The last one, Miami Dolphins, because I think that game will solidify them as the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think they'll be the last one or second to last one will be them, celebrating and the fans celebrating a great season by this team, but them getting the 1 seed. So I'm looking forward to them locking up the 1 seed more than I am watching them play the Ravens or the Bills.
It's Buffalo, and that could be for the division. That game could determine the division. That could, in a sense, determine the division, and that, okay, maybe a couple other things have to happen, but it's, near impossible for one team to win it. It could also be a hat and T-shirt game. It could outright be the hat and T-shirt game. I'm going to say Buffalo. What I want that Miami game, is it Miami or the Jets last week? I think it's Miami, right? What I want that Miami game to be, I want to be on the other side of Week 18 last year. I want the Patriots locked up, done. They have their seed. The Dolphins, although they're winning right now, and that would get.
Oh, you let the Dolphins win?
Right? Like, could you imagine what a full circle moment that would be if we get to be on the other side of we got to let the other team in the division win so they don't get the top pick.
Tommy DeVito's running around out there.
Right? Exactly. Watching Tommy DeVito and Josh Dobbs. It might, Efton Chisholm goes for 150 yards. The Dolphins might ruin that, though, before we get there, because they're winning today, and they'd be at 4 wins, and 4 wins is not going to get you the first overall pick in this NFL season. That's not going to happen.
Titans got that already.
Moving right along. I know Tommy DeVito will not be on this list of biggest opposing game wreckers. Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Barth. There's so many guys that could wreck a game against the New England Patriots. Who is the biggest opposing game wrecker?
This is a good one. I mean, there's some good names on that list. Jamar Chase is definitely up there. T. Higgins is up there, the way Carlton Davis has been playing. But we talked about this earlier. The absence, the way you're going to feel the absence of Milton Williams. They did such a good job on James Cook. We talked about the job they did on Allen. They did such a good job against James Cook in that first meeting against the Bills. Are they going to be able to match it without Milton Williams? James Cook, Week 15 against the Bills scares me. Also, any tight end at any point.
Yeah, I was going to say the Ravens tight ends, but I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is still the one guy who Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, but I think he's just so banged up, and watching him play, he's not escaping like he used to and all that stuff. He's not killing people with his legs. He's been good throwing the ball, but I think Josh Allen he's healthy. And I think he just has all the tools to put 300 on them in the air and 60 on the ground. I think he has that ability. And he's going to be looking to try and do it as well, which means he might turn it over a lot and save you. But I think Josh Allen's the one guy you look forward to as being the one that could ruin things for the Patriots.
Now, we can combine these last two because they are kind of the same thing here. Cerrone, I'll start with you. What seed will the Patriots finish? And assuming they make the playoffs, what round do the Patriots make it to?
Seed, I think they get the number 1 seed because I think the Colts have a much tougher schedule, and I do not trust Daniel Jones any further than I can throw him. I don't think they do either, but I think they get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Because I think Denver and Indy have a tougher schedule. And what seed? Man, I think if they get the number 1 seed and they play at home 2 games in Foxborough, and you might have to face a Colts team, a dome team led by Daniel Jones or Bo Nix in the playoffs, yeah, give me. I think the Patriots can make the Super Bowl, man. God, you put me in that spot. I think they can make the Super Bowl.
No, you're right. Like, I'm looking at it like, could they possibly get the 1 seed? The Colts' remaining schedule: Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, Niners, and they got to go to Seattle. Jacksonville again is probably playing for a playoff spot at Houston to end the season, and Denver down the stretch. Chiefs, Commanders, Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs again, and then the Chargers in a game that could be to get into the playoffs for Los Angeles.
These teams can end up on the road, man, if they don't play things right.
You're right. I mean, the Patriots should have the 1 seed. You know, what scares me is, do you get the 1 seed and it's Kansas City coming here? Or it's Baltimore coming here? You know, I don't think they go one and done, but I'll say AFC Championship. I just think their youth catches up to them at some point in the playoffs, and I always lean on, and I did this with the Patriots for years, so it's only fair I do it on the other side now. I always heavily weight experience in the playoffs. I always do, and they just don't. They have a couple guys, Steph Diggs, Matt Collins, Milton Williams, but I still think they're a year away, a couple players away from getting there. But it's not unrealistic. It's by no means unrealistic that they get to the Super Bowl.
And a lot of people say, what you just mentioned, you know, if you got to play Kansas City or Baltimore or Buffalo, outside of those 3, is there anybody you fear coming into Foxborough? Like, look at the rest of the quarterbacks. Are you expecting Justin Herbert to be great in Foxborough in January? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Who are the 3?
Daniel Jones. Outside of Josh Allen, the usuals. Yeah. Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Mahomes.
Maybe do you fear Cincinnati? Cincinnati's gone into Kansas City and beat Mahomes. So maybe Cincinnati, that would be it.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of them, it's Herbert in January. Daniel Jones, Bo Nix. I think Aaron Rodgers, I think they can smoke any one of those guys.
I will say this about the Colts, though. I would almost but give me Drake May in a dome in January.
Ooh, good point.
Like,
good point.
With the Colts, it's almost like, obviously you want that game to be here. You want home field advantage. You don't want to mess with that. Like, going to Denver scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
And as a Patriots fan, regardless of how good the Patriots look, regardless of how much of a fraud you think the Broncos might be, going to Denver in the playoffs should scare you, especially Drake May's never played at altitude.
We saw what that looked like a few years ago.
And Drake May's never played at altitude. So that should make you nervous. I'll go play in a dome. Are they going to pump the crowd noise in again? Probably. But, like, give me the dome. Give me dome Drake May in January.
And their strength is running. Their strength is running the football. If the Patriots' run defense is what it's been, and you take Taylor away, and it's just Daniel Jones versus Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, I feel good about that. Dude we had 10 turnovers in the last 2 weeks. So playing, and that might be. Would you do that though? Would you lose a game with a chance to play at Indy?
No,
like to let them get home field?
No, you don't screw with the football gods like that.
Okay,
you don't.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, if they do lose, so all right, I'll ask you this, and we'll wrap it up. I know we got to hit the break real quick here. Let's say the standings hold out, and the Chiefs are actually the frauds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who scares you more, Denver or Indy?
Denver, D-line.
Denver.
But like, if one of those teams is going to pass the Patriots, I'd rather it be the Colts.
I got you.
Because I'd much rather go to Indy than go to Denver, if that makes sense.
Yep.
We got to hit a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap the show up next here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff.
More Sunday Kickoff is on the way on the Sports Hub.
Wrapping it up here on Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff. Alex Barth, Cerrone Battle. We got Matt McCarthy and George Bilecki coming up next. They'll take you up until Celtics Clippers today at 3 o'clock. So we usually wrap up the show with game picks. Patriots already played 27-14 over the Jets. But creature habit over here. Let's do some game picks anyway. Specifically the games that Patriots fans are really going to have circled today when it comes to playoff positioning. So let's start the 1 o'clock window. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Buffalo Bills. We talked about the covers, who we think will win, who Patriots fans should be rooting for. This one's obvious, but give me a pick in this one, Cerrone. Buccaneers at Bills.
Give me Buffalo at home. I'm pretty sure it's freezing up there right about now. I'm coming from Florida, to that is tough to get used to. Tampa Bay has had the injuries, but I don't know how long they can hold on. Going into Buffalo, a desperate Buffalo team right now. I got Buffalo winning that one in a close one. And look, Tampa needs to win this game, because if they lose this and Carolina wins, it's only like a game or half game up for their division. So Tampa's going to come in there playing hard, but I think Buffalo is going to come out as the better team today.
I'm going to go 34-24 Bills. This is kind of when the Bills play their best football, when they're on the ropes. Supposedly Gabe Davis is going to fix everything for them. Keon Coleman, a healthy scratch. I'm going to go 34-24 Bills. Bengals at Steelers.
Oh, man. Give me the Bengals. I think the Bengals light them up. I think they light them up, and I don't think the Steelers can match them. Steelers defense has not been Steeler-like, and I think they get destroyed defensively. I think the Bengals have themselves a day and light the Steelers up. And in a pretty good game. I'm going to say like 35-28, something like that, because this Bengals can't play defense either. We're
kind of in the same vein. I'm going to say 38-31 Bengals. A little lower scoring than the Bengals have been recently, because it's a divisional game. They're a little more familiar. Maybe big second half for both offenses. I'm going to say 38-30.
And it's cold.
Bengals. Yep.
Yeah, weather's going to bring that scoring down a little bit too.
And then the big one of the day, 5-4 Chiefs at 8-2 Broncos. We said we're rooting for the Broncos. We want the Chiefs out of the playoffs. That's what we want to happen. I picked the Chiefs. I think you picked the Broncos when we did picks.
I got the Broncos. I got the Broncos winning because I think their D-line is on a record pace for sacks or something like that. They have a ton of sacks so far. And I think that's a weakness of Kansas City. I think Denver's front four is going to be a mess for Kansas City and make this game sloppy enough to where Denver can figure out a win. Now, Denver just lost their running back. That's huge. But I do think the defense of Denver is going to be there every snap, and it's going to be tough for Kansas City to overcome. I think Denver wins this game in a low-scoring, like 21-17 type game.
Wow, right. We're right there. I think, except we're going to flip it. I think Broncos get up 10-0 early. Chiefs win 2017.
Typical Chiefs.
Typical Chiefs. I think we're going to see typical Chiefs. And we'll throw one more in here. Doesn't impact the Patriots, but it's just going to be an awesome football game. Seahawks-Rams.
Oof. Man, I got the Rams at home. I'm not sure when I picked them early, but I think the Rams win this game. Seahawks are rolling. Seahawks have been rolling. I got the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks can win this game, but I want to see the Rams win because I want them to bring their uniforms back. The new uniforms are clean. I love the Rams, the black uniforms.
I hate those. Are like some of my least favorite rivalry ones.
I like them. I don't know why I like them. I got to see them in action, but I like them. But I think the Seahawks can win that game. It's going to be a tight one. I'm going to say Seahawks 31-30, nailed by the field goal at the end.
George Bilecki's here. What do I have written down right there? For Seahawks Rams?
For the Rams?
Seahawks Rams. What's the score written down there?
31-28 Seattle.
That's right. Right on the number. 31-28
Take
Seahawks.
a money line. See if you think Seahawks win, they're plus 150.
Maybe. Also, we didn't talk about today, Cerrone. This is on me. We completely missed it. What'd you think about those rivalry uniforms on Thursday night?
I like them, and I like them even more after I just watched the Patriots video they put on YouTube about how they came up with it and all that stuff. It was pretty fascinating, 12 minutes of YouTube footage there, but I like the uniform, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pick one up. I love the helmet, though. I think they should keep the helmet all the time.
All white alternates, maybe?
An all white version of that would be good. Look, I wouldn't like them if they were the primary, like every week, but like once a year. You break that look out once a year, especially in prime time, because they're going to have more prime time games now moving forward. I'm all in for it. And credit to the stadium ops team. They had, field painted, The banner's different, the graphics on the video board, like they went all in on that. Credit to the Patriots ops team for doing that as well. And that's the show. All right. Everybody enjoy what is going to be an amazing day of football. Seriously, I don't remember the last time I was as excited for an NFL slate. There are some awesome games on today, some that impact the Patriots, some that don't, but are good football games you should watch anyway. Didn't even talk that much about Chargers-Jaguars. That's another one. I think you're probably rooting for the Chargers if you're a Patriots fan there. And, yeah, should be a great day. We got George Blechy, Matt McCarthy coming up next. What are you guys going to get into here?
So we're going to actually get into that little NBA gambling investigation.
Oh, yeah, this is good stuff.
Asking for cell phones from the Lakers, but of course breaking down the latest in Drake May and what he's been doing. McCarthy and I, is our second time being on air together. Our first time we got into it. Who will be the face of Boston, Roman Anthony or Drake May?
Well,
I stood 10 toes down. Do not disrespect the quarterback, and I'm feeling good about it right now.
I mean, picking the quarterback's a safe bet, but you should definitely take a little victory lap on McCarthy on that one. If you missed any of this show, you can find it, Sports Hub Sunday Kickoff, wherever you get your podcasts, also on the Sports Hub YouTube channel. I will be back tomorrow, podcast with David Andrews. We still haven't recapped the Jets game. I do have my recap with Matt Dolph up. Check that out, Patriots Hub podcast. Also, me and McCarthy talked to Vince Wilfork yesterday. Pod with David Andrews tomorrow, and I'll be on Zolak and Bertrand. 10 to 2. I think I'm in for Beetle, I believe. So it'll be me, or it'll be Zoe and McCone with me in the third chair, so you can check that out. And Cerrone and I will be back next week. More typical show, 2 hours, pregame, getting you ready for Patriots, Bengals. Why do I keep getting the Bengals and Giants games mixed up? It's Bengals, right?
Yes, Bengals.
I get like one weird week where I get like an extra 12 hours off, and suddenly I forget those.
But we get Jameis in a few weeks.
We do get Jameis in a few weeks. I'll be watching him today. I'll be watching all this today. You too. Enjoy a great day of football. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBZ-FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.